steel, a giant stance, a mech with heavy man's commands, each step a quake, a thunderous might, eyes aglow in the endless night, a taint beneath, dark and vast, power fierce, shadows cast, a mighty taint beneath its core, a warrior spirit, ancient lore. Welcome, Tainted, a lace-up tunic or medieval hoodie. Welcome, Tainted, let's talk about color, or should we? Welcome, Tainted, thinking outside the blocks. Welcome, Tainted, thanks for joining us, you rock. Have your fun hole rocks. Welcome, Tainted. Enjoy the Chronicles Outdoors song. Welcome, Tainted. Thinking outside the blocks. Welcome, Tainted. Thanks for joining us, you rock.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Think Outside the Blocks, your official Brickworld live stream where we talk to you about thinking outside the perceived rigidity of the Lego medium, but also about thinking outside of your creative mental blocks. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Mark Larson, Chief Brick Officer of Brickworld, and this guy, everybody's favorite host, the guy on my left, Ben Hauger, Chief Brick Officer. I'm sorry, Ben Hauger, Z Cerberus. How you doing? Sorry, I'm super distracted at the moment because I started in Firefox thinking that everything was okay again because I did just fine on Saturday, but the song didn't play for me and it told me it was going to cut it off. So I jumped over into Chrome to make sure that I could see what was going on so I could actually see the song in case it cut off on us early. And then as soon as the show started, I tried to leave the studio and Chrome asked me 3 times if I really wanted to leave the studio. I was like, yes. Yes, I'm talking right now. Stop asking me if I want to leave the studio. Anyway, off to a great start.
Yeah. You really are.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, I'm about as disorganized as I've ever been for a stream.
I feel the same way a bit today.
Which is, fun. It's an accomplishment, honestly.
Yeah, congratulations on that achievement.
Yeah. I wasn't sure that I was going to achieve that much, but I truly have. And now Mark has vanished.
No,
well, he's
right here.
There he is. He's back. So yeah, it's been a little while since we've been together on this stream, though not that long since we've been together on a Lego stream.
That's true. It was just yesterday, actually.
Just yesterday, yeah. So we can already get to our show run because we're going to talk about last weekend. Where was I? What was I doing? What's happened this week?
Yeah, where were you? What were you doing? What's happening this week?
Yeah, then we'll talk about live balls, great and small.
Live balls.
Talk about a little thing called mocking. And mocking with another way to spell that. Talk Lego news. We'll talk something we're going to call Like What? And then that sounds like a close call, which you are piloting today.
I sure am on the pilot. Yay.
Yeah, slashing out on our rants. And then let's do this again, of course. So yeah, we can talk about that quick, what I was doing. And then we can see who's here in the Tainted. I was redoing or attempting to redo New Year's. As you may remember, my wife had pneumonia over New Year's. So we went to the Mall of America kind of without her to have an adventure. She tried to show up for some of it and then couldn't. We tried a little redo of that. Of course, this time Miles had the stomach flu.
Miles.
But
man, I was causing trouble.
He fought through it. He got over the stomach flu enough to come with.
Oh, that does not sound fun, though, at the same time.
Well,
let me fight through the stomach flu so I can get through a New Year's celebration. That isn't even really New Year's. Doesn't sound worth it.
Well, there was,
just a puke or two? Is that what I'm hearing? Just like...
it was several pukes, and it went for a while. But then
sounds like fun.
After we made it through the weekend, all of this last week, my wife had the stomach flu. So...
Miles' fault again, actually.
Double Miles. So my wife's now had pneumonia and the stomach flu since Christmas. My daughter's had pneumonia. My son's had the stomach flu. I've been fine, knock on wood, or
Right.
whatever this structure is down here.
Yeah, and it's like the it's a good thing she didn't have it for the New Year's do-over, because then she would have been sick for New Year's and the New Year's do-over. Speaking of which, here she is. She says Mawa was 2 days after, but he was still
Moa.
recovering.
Yeah.
Moa.
Mild America was 2 days after
Oh.
he had finished with the flu. It's last time he had puked was a couple days before, but he still said he could be a little ill. So.
I don't know why I read that as the cute way you guys used to say Mara's name, which you don't say anymore. Actually, you correct me when I say Mawa.
Mawa. We're working on her R's. The pronunciation of R's been a struggle.
Gotcha. So. Gotcha. Z Spouse also say January can be done now. It's had enough. Rob Claxton is also here tonight. Thank you for being here, sir. VMAC Attack channel member is here. Alternate candidate is also here. Yep. Brick Dad Builds channel member and sometimes co-host is also here tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here tonight, you guys. Appreciate the presence a lot. If you like what you're seeing so far, feel free to smash that like button. Why not? And if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you a part of the family and get notifications every time we go live, so you know when we're getting into silliness.
Yeah.
Which sometimes, Ben, we do some like bonus streams. I don't think we've done that for a while, where we just kind of randomly get on a Monday night and build a set, or just like go to the Blockiverse or something. Probably because I've got you doing 2 streams a week now. You don't have to be there on Wednesdays, of course, but you've joined me, and we've had a lot of fun with Brickworld Crossing. And we just did the first Brickworld virtual presentation yesterday, which went really well, I think. And so that would be triple duty this week. You have joined me for 3 live streams in 1 week. And dear Lord, we've done 3 live streams in a week. And just kind of, and by the way, we are live on Twitch and YouTube tonight.
Ooh.
Yet again. Yeah, the first time that the Think Outside the Blocks is on Twitch. If you're joining us on Twitch, please make a comment, because we went live on Wednesday on Twitch for Brickworld Crossing to go to Buttland. And I got a notification that there were 2 successful views from Twitch.
There you go.
Brickworld Crossing visit to Buttland. But you know what? You can't find on the Twitch channel is that live stream.
Okay.
And I have no idea why, because I don't Twitch.
I don't Twitch either. I you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Do you even Twitch, bro? I don't. I'm trying to. It's been recommended. Bro. Apparently, we have a following on Twitch. People excited about the show, about the in-person show. Both of them are super excited. But I must be doing something wrong, so I need to check in with my my Twitch consultant. But here we are. We used to be on YouTube and Facebook. But no matter what I do, I can't reconnect to Facebook. I don't know what's going on. Even when I try through Chrome, which is like the end-all be-all of web browsers. As the resentments just pour off me. So that was last weekend. How was your week, sir?
So Rachel had the stomach flu beginning of the week. She recovered just well enough for Friday night. We went out to see a musical because we have season tickets. It's the 3rd one we've seen in the series so far. The 3rd one was Parade, which is not exactly a happy-go-lucky musical.
It is not. That's Jason Robert Brown.
Yes.
And it's got some really intricate, fun music. But it
does have a lot of fun music.
Yeah, but it's also like chaotic in the way it changes.
Very chaotic.
Theme.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's a rough one. That's a real rough one.
Yeah.
Brick Dad built a stream of Buttland on Twitch. Is it called twerking?
Good question. That's a good question.
That can be the name of our chat on Twitch, is the twerkers for Brickworld Crossing. Anyway, you have a different name.
Actually, that was last night. That was Saturday night we did this, because I know that now, thinking about it, because you know some of the chaos. So yesterday we were doing the Brickworld virtual show live stream where we talked about Great Ball Contraption.
And your pants were on fire at the end. You're like, I gotta go. We're like trying to go. Like, I'm leaving now.
I'm leaving now.
No more long goodbye.
Miles went to the Timberwolves game with my dad. My dad has a habit of like calling me and asking me to go to sporting events the day of.
It's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
I'm never available, so I always send Miles with him. You and I did the live stream, and then afterward, I had to get ready to go to dinner before Parade.
Oh, so it wasn't Friday night. Last night you saw
it was
Parade.
Last night. Yep, it was busy.
I've got the Candy Store song in my head now, where the Iola Stover and the one dude are, the one scene they show with Iola Stover before she's murdered. No, she's not the one that's murdered. Anyway, she's the friend of the, and she lies.
She's the factory worker.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was what I did. How about you, Mark? I've haven't seen you since yesterday.
I played with dogs. I watched TV with my husband. We had dinner. We ate meals. Oh, you know what I did? You know what I did do on Friday night is I went to my mom's house, which many of you know my mother, have met her, have worked with her at shows. I went to my mom's house and my sister came over and we had a slumber party. We watched some movies. We ordered, what did we eat? I don't remember what we ate, but it was good. Oh, we ordered from the patio, barbecue ribs.
Nice.
Yeah, it was actually my idea. I was just like, I'm way too busy to see my family. And I was like, starting to be upset about the fact that I can never make time to go there. And I was like, if they did something and invited me, I'd go. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. So why don't I invite them to my mother's house? Yeah. And there's a reason for that, because now that she's in her 70s, she's widowed, and the more time goes by and the more she gets used to a life without him, the lonelier she seems to get. And I used to have the Brickworld storage unit like a 1-minute drive from her house. And so every time I go to a show, I'd rent a U-Haul, I'd go to the storage unit, I'd load it up, and I'd bring it over to her house, and I'd spend the night. And sometimes she'd go with and work the shows. Yep. And then the show started to stress her out. And then driving to Orland Park every time I had to go to a show was starting to stress me out. So I moved my storage unit to the city, and oops, guess what? I stopped going out there. Yeah. To see her. And so I'm like, I got to change that. Yeah. And blessing of traffic, it somehow only took me 45 minutes to get home. In Chicago, that's crazy. That's very crazy. She's about a 45-minute drive away, but it typically takes at least an hour and 15 minutes. Anyway, we did build, before my sister got there, because she had to work, and then she had to go get her hair did, we built the bonsai tree. Okay, there you go. That was a great set, great parts pack. So there we go. Look at this. Someone's joining us from Twitch. It's a person named Brick Dad, and he does say mirroring what I said, the loss of companionship of a spouse is super hard. My mom did her research when my dad died, and she said, it'd take about 7 years to start feeling like life is normal again. We're a month away. We're a week away from 13 years. So 6 years after she's back to normal, she's like, also not back now. I just don't like being alone. Yeah. I think there's definitely a difference. I think she's definitely adjusted. She's taken a lot of their money that they had squirreled away and redesigned the entire house. Okay. Well, it's like all the stuff your father would never let me do. He didn't want me to do this because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes. He was a terrible man, Mom. I don't know why he never wanted this. That's not what she's saying, but yeah. It's not. It's definitely not what she's saying. And in terms of the other thing we did with our this is supposed to say GBC, but the GBC virtual was good, informative, and welcome. Every 12 months I get a CBC. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Just over 7 years. So congratulations. This is apparently the exact amount of time it takes scientifically to get back to feeling normal. Every time for everybody, exactly 7 years. Yeah, that's what it takes. Okay. It's just like the same thing with the stages of grief. Guess what? Even the people who wrote the book about the stages of grief never said that they happen in a certain order. You don't go in state from one stage to the next to the next. Yep. Sometimes you take 3 or 4 a day. Yep. And so the other thing we were going to talk about with our live stream, I think maybe it'll be worth talking about. Oh, hey. What's this? Bell. I don't know. How do we celebrate this one? Landon Bell, I think you've only been at like 1 or 2 of our streams. Maybe you've been lurking before that. But if you'd like to request one of our songs, go ahead and do so. I'm feeling celebratory on this because it's very exciting. I'm just going to play one of my favorite songs to celebrate the fact that we have a new member. Landon Bell, thank you for joining us. This one goes out to you, sir. Daddy Ben, oh, he loves his space. Lego ships in orange, all in place. But Mara's size, they're all the same. And why that beard? It's just a shame. Orange ships, computers galore. Mara dreams of something more. In Legoland, where dreams take flight. Orange or not, they'll get it right. Daddy, your ships are lame. All of them look the same. And your beard, such a disgrace. Maybe just one short hair on your face. I spend too much time working on them. And sometimes you just don't do them. It's like you working on them. Yeah. And your beard. And my beard.
And your mustache.
I'll get back in the photo so everyone can see.
Ugh.
All right.
It should be more like one of those French ones that are the movies, like squirrels.
Like a little villain mustache?
Yes, you need that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mara. Thanks for the rant.
Or you just need
Good
one
job.
little hair.
It takes too long for you to build them. Focus, get it done, concentrate, Daddy Ben. One more word about your beard. Come on, Daddy, it's so weird.
And they don't have different size ranges, which they should. And they they all have computers in them. Like, it's disgusting.
Orange spaceships, make it end. Listen, friend, it's not a trend. Orange beard, that's the trend. Make it happen. I love you, Daddy Ben. I love you, Daddy Ben.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much, Landon Bell, for joining us on the channel. You now have a nice little badge next to your name, and you can use the exclusive emojis, the Fabuland emojis, in the chat. This is your third stream. Didn't know it would pop up like that. Thank you. You're welcome, and thank you, of course, as well. Brick Dad Builds welcomes you. Jesse's Brick Galaxy is here. I almost bricked it, but I didn't. There was a little bit at the end of the brick, but
Yeah.
one of these days I'll learn how to say it. I've been thinking about maybe sending some of these songs to the Fold to see if they'll play them at Brickworld.
Ooh, that could be exciting.
That'd be awesome.
That would be exciting.
Maybe we can do a little slideshow with their songs because
Oh, yeah.
I have time for that.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, but
So yeah, I was gonna thank you for being always such a great co-host for the live stream. But yesterday you were fantastic. Like I was in and out like crazy because the two hounds were hounding me like crazy, and I took a couple bathroom breaks as well. It was easy to just duck out, and you had it under control.
Was,
But
yeah.
you know so much about the Lego community. You were asking like pertinent questions. You had like the year of the excavator that it came out, and you knew everything about the set. You realized that module, let alone just like the stuff you knew about GBC, was fantastic. So thank you. For one, but also I think altogether with the people that we had involved from the GBC community and the Lego community in the chat, I thought it was a pretty good stream.
Yeah, so I did want to talk about that. Obviously, it was our next topic. It was our first of hopefully several Brickworld special event live streams. At first, the thought was we were going to try to make it a members only type deal. However,
yeah, let's talk about that.
After some discussion, really, I think what we want to do is grow the channel by offering different ways to view it. We're already monetized, not that we've generated a bunch of revenue, but encouraging different people to come in, get some flavor of both what's in the special event, what would it be like to come to Brickworld in general, and then get a little flavor for how you and I interact. Maybe they'll stop by and want to become members here, or at least regular viewers of the stream.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you were trying to do, and then how you restructured it real quick.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to hear a longer and more emotional version of that. So we were thinking about doing virtual shows. Going back to that, we did that during the pandemic, and they went relatively well. And we had a lot of content. A lot of people were excited about them. So we're like, why not keep that going? The in-person shows have struggled as the economy does what it does here, and whatever else is maybe happening, we don't know. But what we do know is that 2023 was a bad year. The YouTube channel is going rather well. And so with all the people that we have contact with, why not make some virtual presentations like we did yesterday with GBC, which went fantastic. But I mean, we had the idea stuck in our head. We were first looking at how to sell them through Eventbrite. And, after a while I was like, well, let's just use it to build up the audience on the YouTube channel as well, because we're trying to build a community that way. And the idea of like selling tickets was stuck in my head. And, the couple days beforehand, I was like, I just watched about 8 live streams about the new Nintendo Switch coming out. And they all have like 800,000 subscribers, and like they don't charge people for anything. They go live once a day. They go, they have new videos every 12 hours, and they just have free content, and they're monetized, and we're monetized. Yep. So I was like, really the next one we should do it for free and just encourage people to join. In the meantime, I messed around with the membership levels where I made Pareidolia the $1.99 one, because that's the first one you see if you try to join. I made that the second level, so it's $2.99 to be in Pareidolia, and I moved the members only live stream we did for Christmas, our Christmas party, to that level. And I was going to explain it this week that I moved it up $1 because we have to, because we want the family friendly stuff to be the first one people see. We want them to accidentally get into this and blah blah blah. All this stuff happened, and about 15 minutes into the show when nobody was watching, and they put a pin in that one. I was like, all right, let's just do what I've been thinking about doing for the next show because it's never too late. Let's just do it. And about 60 people flooded in. It was probably one of the most live watched streams we've ever done. And we're up over 100 some odd views of it now. People have rewatched it. And so now I can put everything back to normal. So right now, if you're a member at the $1.99 level, you can't see the Christmas party. But again, I don't know what to do with that. If we're going to be asking people to join the channel, I don't want people to accidentally stumble upon it. So I'm not sure exactly what to do from there. But Omega 13 says that they were in the stream, but they couldn't comment. So there were people watching. It wasn't sent to private because that's what happened to us at the Christmas party. Here he is, Omega 13, Omega 1582, whatever, just numbers, Omega numbers. Said that as soon as I changed it to public, then they could comment. What I think I did, because I had messed around with so many levels, is I had made it just for the Pareidolia members, which was now the $2.99 level, and I went back and changed it to members only from or the other way around. I did something, right? I initially made the $2.99 level, whatever I did. It's probably some sort of Mark is new to YouTube well after a year. That's the way we're going to do it from now on. And, we'll figure out a good balance between the general AFOL. I don't want to say we're necessarily going to be family oriented. We want it to be AFOLs and we want it to be broad appeal, but not everybody wants to come on and hear me drop F-bombs and get trashed sometimes on the stream. I don't think anybody wants to see that ever again, but it happens.
Christmas party is a different animal. We'll just say that. But yeah, I mean,
right. The Christmas party. Thank you.
We always appreciate the support, but we got to figure out how to balance it best. And so there's little rework of how that worked.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be smoother next time. Anyone can go back now and watch the GBC event, right?
Yes.
Out there.
It definitely is. And I plan on
creators on the stream as well, talking about their modules and how to get into GBC if you're into it.
Extremely talented creators with really fascinating stuff. And I was planning on doing a quick virtual presentation on Saturday just to kind of play around with it. Take one of the ones that I have done in the past and just kind of we'll do it live for how to use Bricklink to prepare your design and be creative with the Bricklink catalog in mock building, which is something I get really excited about. And so I think it'd be easy for me to do a quick one. And so I think that'll be, and your presence wouldn't be necessary because I've done it on my own before. And it's just kind of it's a good 30-minute presentation. Sorry, my spider webs were out of control and I needed to plug something in. And so you got to see my armpits for a minute. Sorry about that. So this Saturday, 1 p.m. Central, we'll see, check YouTube, Discord, Brickworld website, Instagram, Facebook. I'll post announcements about what exactly I'll be doing. And maybe I'll change my mind. So if you check those things out and you didn't see anything, it's because I got lazy. Mac Attack wants some attention.
Yeah, he does.
He has joined us yet again. Just became a YouTube member. Did you join up a level? Because I was going to nix that. But we did also make a super Pareidolia level, which Ben, I was going to talk to you about what to do with that. Maybe it was something we were going to talk to Joellen about, because Joellen might be able to hook us up with her boss on ways to get super Pareidolia special stuff at Brickworld Chicago, but we shouldn't say anything more about that.
No.
Mac Attack, what song would you like to hear? When I think
already heard
Mac
his
Attack,
favorite.
We sure did. But when I think of Mac Attack, I think of this song, if I can find it. Yeah.
The world torn apart by fire and flood. Mutated platypus rise from the mud. With venomous claws and duck-billed beaks, they protect their home from the human freaks. Through the ashes and skies of red, platypus badasses busted heads. Through the ashes and skies of red, platypus badasses busted heads. This is the dawning of the age of Apocalypse. Mutated claws rise fierce and venomous through shattered skies and rivers of rust. In the age of Apocalypse, we fight, we must. Humans beware, this land is not yours. The platypus reign in apocalypse wars.
Not too long ago, like within the last few months, I had rewatched that episode, and in my memory, VMAC Attack was a co-host on that episode. In reality, he was not. He just geeked out about the apocalypse that's in the chat, and it felt like he was there. Stream said members only, but wouldn't allow him to comment. Said comments was for people at the purchase level, which now makes sense that you just said changing stuff. Yeah, and I wasn't paying attention. And when I changed it all back, I just quickly made it public. Or when I changed it during the week and made it the super pareidolia and the pareidolia and the Brickworld virtual shows level, I forgot to change the stream itself, which I had already done, to the higher level. And brain stuff.
Was a thing.
Live streaming. Yeah,
things happened.
Yeah. So Ben, I've
we're
said
past
several
that,
times. Right? I think so. Thank you. I've said several times, like when we're talking about putting this stream together, I've called us influencers, and I think perhaps like I don't think that's generally correct for the two of us, and so I'm going to try to force myself to start saying that we are content creators. How about that? Does that sound less pretentious?
I think so.
Less
I think
stupid.
It does. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
Man,
I don't know.
I miss being an influencer.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that there is probably the connotation of that word more than anything else.
It was fun while it lasted.
So whatever.
Yeah,
but
whatever is right.
we can move on to a little thing we call mocking. We can talk about our mocks. I've got some updates.
Ooh.
Do you have some updates too?
Yes.
All right. That's good. So
I have a lot because there's only a little bit of news. So it's good that we both have some stuff to do.
Yeah,
and show
I think
and talk about.
I feel a little inspired from GBC yesterday.
Yeah.
Talk a little more in depth about an aspect of what I'm trying to do here. There's going to be a little bit of math, even. My goodness.
Math.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mathed our brains off yesterday.
There was a lot of mathing yesterday. So this won't be as math heavy, but we'll talk about it a little. But we can't get into the mocks unless we walk it up.
Who's this kicking it with a new mob? New mob. New mob. New mob. Yeah. Will we get a chunky mech? Will we get computer tech? And orange spaceship so sleek? Does he hate castle this week? Does the new mech have a wicked taste? Has the castle from last week been reshaped? Has he built 5 orcs and welcomes the Cerberus Daddy Ben? Yeah! Choke the 5-bit!
Okay, and I knew I was going to have to do that at the end here.
Ooh.
But this is what we're working with today.
Damn, and I've seen this already. I still give it a big old ooh. You've changed a bit since I last saw it.
Changed it a little bit because the size of the hexagon wasn't quite right.
That's right.
We'll talk about the mathing here in a
hexagoning this week. That's right. That's where the math.
Yes.
Of course, that's where the mathing came from. So you lost your Zelda triangles in there. Yeah.
Yes. So this is what I was working on. We look when we were building the last Falcon Castle, I'm not sure we ever came up with a good name for it, but that's okay. One of the things that we were talking about when it first started was it looked like a ruined castle because there was a lot of fine work on it. And so I said, hey, let's go ahead and just try to do a ruined castle.
Yes.
Might be kind of fun. Right?
I love this. Brickdead Builds is requesting that you build a mock of him.
Oh, that would be interesting. Maybe he thought we were talking about the mocking with the K. But
Oh, no, he didn't spell it that way.
I know he didn't.
VMAC Tech says, I've been building like crazy, but mostly rebuilding because things weren't working out. Hey,
Always part of it.
I got a story about that this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the big things with this, right? And we can talk about, some of the ruinedness if we want to.
Ding dong. It is a doorbell, by the way. It's so cute.
Throw a wolf on the back too.
And a little. It needs one. It needs an owl.
Yeah, you think it needs an owl somewhere?
Yeah, an anthropomorphic owl with telescope.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we could make that work. I know she's around here somewhere. Oh, here she is.
How could you lose her?
I didn't lose her. She's right in front of my keyboard.
Good job.
As a matter of fact.
Now it's perfect.
So we added a little action there. So the other thing I was talking about with working on this was the fact that the hexagons then would let me add modules or little display techniques around it.
Oh no!
Why is that a no?
Because you're gonna blow our minds.
No.
And we're gonna be jealous.
I only have one.
I only have. Okay.
Somewhat done here.
It's
but you can
cute.
You can add it on kind of wherever you want on the hexagon.
Barf, it's doing triangles still. Is it not?
This one's half the size.
But can you get another hexagon in there, or do you have to build a triangle?
Well, it depends on where I put it, but I can, and I do have, for example, this one's not done yet, but I could put one here, for example. And then, yes, I would eventually need a triangle here. I could add this up here, wherever, to sort of build off it, build a path, connect multiple MOCs together via use of the hexagons.
We got another ooh from Crystal, so we're going to bring up an ooh for you.
So
thank you, Crystal, for the ooh. We love that.
That's what we're working on. I can add tree modules.
You're breaking everyone's brain here.
Putting the little trees on various ones.
Yeah.
And sort of expand it however I want. Change terrain. Could use it to display like a timeline.
Barf.
All kinds of different things. Right? Barf to a timeline? You don't like timelines?
No, Barf, this is amazing.
Oh.
No, Barf, I love this. This is so cute. I'm throwing up. I threw up. You didn't see it. I turned off my camera and muted my mic. But barf.
So that's what we're doing with the hexagons. But I did want to talk a little bit about doing the hexagons because
do it.
They're a challenge. And so you can see from the underside here that they're kind of a mess. I wanted to get a different, get a view of one that's partially in progress.
Yeah, show that back again.
Yeah.
It's a shameful mess there.
It is a mess.
But really, it looks, I mean, you figured out the math, and you can kind of see the consistency of it.
Yeah. So we can look at this one.
You may think it's a mess because, like, it made your brain a mess to get there, but it looks really clean and probably easy to communicate, and you'll probably share that with people because you're like a giving person.
Right. Well, so that's what we'll talk about here.
So barf that too.
The angle on a
barf, you're a good person.
On a hexagon to get all of the sides lined up.
Yeah.
These angles have to be 120 degrees.
Mm.
So there's one Lego slope that's 30 degrees, and then you add it to
what do you know?
A 90-degree corner here to get your 120 degrees, and that piece happens to be the cheese slope.
Cheese.
But the problem with lining up the cheese slopes, they are two plates tall, but because they have this half plate sort of lip on them, if you line them up next to each other, exactly 2 plates apart, 2 plates stacked up, they have this little bumpy ridge that goes all the way up.
Which we've known ever since they've called the 2x2 slope 45-degree slope. We've known forever that that's not a 45-degree slope because for it to be a 45-degree slope, it would have to be the same height as width, and it's never been. It's always been 6 to 5 as the ratio. We had this problem at Legoland. So what you've built right there, we had a ruler for not take this away from you, but we had a ruler for that. If we were trying to get an angle like that, one of the designers who now works for Lego made it, and then we all copied it so we'd have it on our desk to achieve that angle when we needed it.
Yeah. So this one here, so every other row is off or inset by half a stud in order to make them all line up like this. So it's a nice and smooth angle side like that.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, doing the math to figure out how long this should be was a little challenging. Of course, the first and obvious thing you could do is just use a ruler. But you can also use Lego math, like we were just talking about, because this is a right triangle here, to figure out how long this part is, right? It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Figure out how long this is, and that will tell you how long you need to make this. So I did do the math on this one, and it was a little challenging because, again, this half lip here made counting the studs a little difficult. And these aren't perfect triangles. They are pretty dang close, though. So in this particular case, the length of these studs here is 16 studs. And the height from here, I got to measure it from the right spot, up to the top is, according to my math, 9.8 studs. However, I had to take off the 0.2 studs down here at the bottom for this lip when I did the math. So it's actually 9.4 studs tall.
And how
So
far does that
means-
come out? So like past that, or if you go back to the bottom,
Yep.
come towards us. And so past that stud that your finger is on,
Yep.
how many plates go to the left, including the
It is
cheese slope?
3 because it is a half. There's
A
a
bracket?
bracket here. So that's half a
Yes.
stud. Then 2 plates, which are 0.4 studs apiece. And then another half stud here for the lip of the cheese slope.
So Paige, we're mathing. So please explain, are you correcting something we said? Are you giving us a new formula? Are you celebrating something we said? Because I don't
4,
remember.
5 is an easy triangle number
Gotcha.
because 3 squared
Thought you
plus
might
4
know.
squared is 25 squared.
Thank you. Thought you might know.
So that meant that this length that I was trying to replicate was 18.6 studs. And you can't do 18, well, you can do 18.6 actually. But I decided to do 18.4. That was close enough.
Oh my God.
On this design.
I just thought of one of the meanest things I've ever heard a Lego fan say to another Lego fan when at Legoland, one of the designers said to the other. Okay, so one of the designers wasn't quite
say
as
to the other. Yeah.
I know, right? That's how the story was coming out. So let me back up a little bit. One of the designers wanted to know how to get a window to fit perfectly in the frame that he had designed. He needed it to be raised by half a stud. So he went and asked one of the more talented designers, one of the more creative designers, how do I do this? And this person responded to him by saying, "You can't figure out how to make it a half stud higher. I feel sorry for you." Sorry, that was just a visceral memory that I had to share, get it off my chest. Otherwise, I just think about it all night. So, yep, Ben got it. Yeah, obviously. It's a cheat sheet for Pythagoras. Scale it by multiplying them. Nice.
Right. Yeah. So that's what it ended up working out for me math wise to have it this way.
Yeah.
I suppose there are a couple other
pretty amazing
versions for it, but they're pretty close to perfect. If I line up this side to this side on this one, you'll see it's almost perfect, almost dead on when I get up in there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I have the hexagons.
Yeah.
So I got the right math to make these things perfect little hexagons so that I can continue with my whole project. But it is, a bit of a challenge to have everything offset by half a stud and still get it to all connect. So that's sort of the way the structure looks on the underside.
I like the idea of it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's just a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Just a challenge.
It's a math problem, but it's a challenge. Yeah.
So we're working on that. Problem is, if I go up to a bigger hexagon from this, I suppose I could double it again, or I could go up another 8 studs, because these things are half the size in terms of each dimension. So they're They're not half the size. They're a quarter of the size.
This reminds me of the Lewis Carroll story where Alice chased the hexagon down the hexagon hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is it's totally like that. But the little ones are half the length on each side.
And they're cute.
Sort of their design. So,
Brickhead Brad is here. Thank you for joining us, Brickhead Brad.
So that's what we're working on, lining up our hexagons to create. I suppose I could get this thing in here like this.
Well, this is great work. This is amazing.
Yes, there you go. So that's where the next one would go, for example, if I was
Yeah.
combining them together to make some sort of pattern.
I've seen the fits and starts on this, and they've never seemed like fits to me. You've been doing great work on this all week. You've been buried in them for sure, but
They have been for sure.
and great job, by the way. How do you say? Transferring that the ruined castle from your last hexagon to this
The last
hexagon.
hexagon of that one, yeah. The
How
other
was that
hexagon,
hexonectomy for you?
it was a bit of a challenge. This is the
Not
remains
a
of the
problem.
first one.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh,
redoing
okay.
it because
Oh, okay.
it
It's
was
right there.
unfortunately- Well, it's different now because this one was
Of course.
18. I did 18 studs here, but then I had the overhang on both
Yep.
sides.
Yep.
So that was where my math was wrong.
Yeah.
So this length ended up, instead of being about 18.4, which is what I wanted, or 18.6-ish, it ended up being 20 and some change. So it was a little too long for a perfect hexagon.
And next week we'll see that waterfall everyone's been requesting on that hexagon behind the
Who
ruins.
knows?
It'll look
Who
great.
knows?
It'll remind me of Brokey.
I think part of what I thought of with these hexagons
Yes.
is I could put trees on them, for example, the various different trees we have. And, we could, because people have been asking to demonstrate how we build a tree, they could all go on one of these modules and you could just see it pushed up, in different spots along a mock to see how it kind of would fit in.
I think a great
So,
Brickworld
we could put
virtual
trees on
presentation. I think a great Brickworld virtual presentation would be you and I doing trees and rock work.
trees and rocks, yeah.
You can do both, and I can do trees because my rock work is aggravating me this week.
Yeah.
And I do think you're better at it. Not to like discount myself, but like seriously, I think you'd make a better demonstration on it because I think your rock work just turns out a lot better than mine. I'm working on it.
It's a lot of
It's
trying
so
to
good.
remember that you want to switch directions and other things.
Yes, and I just do wafers like a 3D puzzle from the 90s.
Yeah. So that's what we've got. I guess this little one, this little tiny ruins, is kind of done already.
It's so
Pretty quick
freaking
mock.
cute. The little tiny is the best part of it.
Yeah, but we can
Like
go
it's just such a
on
great
and,
little mock. and this
add
could be
little
submitted
bits to it.
directly to Bricklink Designer Program.
So here we go.
They'd probably be all over it, and then you can make $120,000. Brick That
be
Build
fun.
says complimentary vignettes for lessons.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is. But that's what we see. I could continue the path from here to here, for example.
Yes,
Path to the well now.
I love that.
Yeah. And I could, I suppose, try to make the triangle shape piece that would fit in here.
This reminds me of how Crystal builds habitats.
A little bit, yeah.
The way
Crystal's
she
the habitat master, though.
Well, and the way she uses them to like make actual buildings and like do little building sketches. Maybe she's not doing sketches for building buildings, but that's what it looks like. That's what I would use them for, the technique that she uses. And this seems like a layout sketch.
Yeah, like a
tool.
layout builder. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can see it working as a great collaborative as well. And as we talked about, they do this at Brick Days with hexagons that are just on the plates that fit together with a little bit of a gap. But people build micro castles on them, so you build like a big kingdom by the end of the weekend. We got a new viewer, perhaps previously a lurker, but Brick Dynasty popped in to listen while sorting and got their mind blown, and now they're not getting anything done.
Uh-oh.
Way to go, Ben! Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Brick That Build says this is great for D&D or RPG game layouts. Yeah, something that's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
What didn't Simon do something hexagonal when he did his like cave racer layout for Brickworld?
I'm
The-
not sure.
The blacklight
Very well may
reactive. I think it was, but I think they were hexagonal platforms that connected by walkways. Someone in the stream had to have been a part. I think Crystal maybe contributed to that. Was it all hexagons or was it hexagons connected by walkways? It was good either way. This reminds me slightly of that, but I love what you're doing, and you figured it all out disgustingly quickly. Barf. Barf for
Well,
you,
you know,
sir.
I messed it up the first time. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
a little bit of trial
Hey.
and error, and I didn't go straight for the math. I just tried to do it based on eyeballing and lining studs up next to it, and you know, I didn't quite
Mhm.
get it. It was a little bit off.
Would you say you made a mistake?
Oh, I would say it was more of a happy accident.
Good call. Good night, everybody.
But there we are. So that's what we've got brewing right now in Hex World, and we'll see if I get a couple of these little hexes done.
Crystal
We
did
can
not.
sort of line them up on a mock and see what they look like. So
Awesome work. Great job.
yeah,
Thanks for sharing. I love that. I love that ruined castle so much.
yeah, isn't that cute?
It's so freaking cute. Brickhead Brad says Barf was the name of the MOG in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Barf. Barf, this is awesome.
So this one, the math on this one, just so you know, instead of
okay.
being 16 deep, it's only 8 deep.
Okay.
So because of that, this distance in the front had to be 9.3. So again, 9.4 is what I rounded up to in width. And so that's what we ended up doing. So it's a little odd that it's kind of 7 wide plus a bracket on each side, 2 bricks, and then the lip on the cheese slopes. That's what ends up making it the right length.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
kind of
amazing.
weird that's how it ends up looking. That's what works.
A little bit. Yeah. And it does not look like a mess. It looks like an ingenious creation.
On top, it looks fine. Just don't look underneath it.
Brickdead Builds is invoking last week where he got to the end of the stream, and I set him up for there are no mistakes, only happy accidents, and he told me that there are no happy accidents, and I was like, well, actually, I'm not sure, sir.
Not sure that's our philosophy.
One of my verbal tics on here is saying you are correct. And I must. You are incorrect. Cat Brad says I want to put them in a big lake scene. That looked nice too. Some little islands, some little
Yeah, you can do all
waves
these
and-
do all these in blue or whatever color, and
I'm all for that.
little islands. Yeah. So we'll see after I get this second. I guess I'm gonna call this the medium-sized hexagon done, because I think I am going to do a bigger size. It's going to be absurd looking when I have the hexagon done.
If you do a
Well,
smaller
I mean,
one, can we call it a smexagon, please?
Hexagon, a small hexagon.
Yes, please.
I guess this one's technically already the smexagon.
Yay!
And I
Thank
guess
you.
make this one the mexagon.
Or the lexagon, I guess the large.
Well, this is going to be
Smex and Mex and Lex.
There's going to be one more, the large Mexican.
The Smexagon, the Mexigon, and the lexagon. Yes, I approve. I approve.
Or it
And
could
we
be
just
the Mexican if it with big.
and we just lost 2 viewers.
Shoot.
Oops. I guess they don't like the word Smexagon. We got to be careful.
All right, you gotta be careful.
I'm sorry.
There we have it. That's what I did this week.
Nice.
Lots of mathing, a little bit of hexagoning, a little bit of building. So,
Well, nicely
Yeah,
done and impressive as ever.
yeah, I finished transferring this the hexagon from the wrong size to the right size. After we wrapped the great ball contraption, I basically had to run out the door. So I finished
Yeah.
it right before the great ball contraption stream. So,
Well, nicely done, man. Looks fantastic.
yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's what I worked on this week. I want to see what Mark worked on this week, though.
Why? I mean,
Well,
you
I
did
can-
such
I
amazing
can
mathing.
see it
Oh, can you?
in- Yes, and we're talking about something different today, so I'm excited.
What?
Uh-huh.
Well, can you play me up?
I'm going to, because why wouldn't I?
Thank you, sir.
Here we go. Mark's
I-
intro song. This is everybody's favorite. Here it comes.
Mark's an otter, watch him splash. Building art deco, leaves and grass. Keeping fab, you land on streams. Making mucks, fulfilling dreams. Don't need breaks when his builds are up. Only cheers and howls from his pup.
here we have it. Here it is. We are back to Victor's hideout.
We are back to Victor's hideout. You want to know why?
Because Victor's awesome.
Well, Victor is awesome. That is definitely one reason that we are back to Victor's hideout. Also, when I got to the pagoda house, I realized a couple of things. One of which we will put a pin in and talk about after we talk about Victor's hideout, because I'll bring the pagoda house out, because guess what? It's right behind this. And because you didn't see the updates last week, and you could take a look at it and see what you think about the changes I did make. But another reason I didn't build this week, and we'll put a pin in that. But the first reason is I am out of parts. I got a lot of Brickling parts in, and then as I started to build today, I was like, wait a minute, where are these parts? I'm like, the pick-a-brick parts didn't come in. So I went to lego.com to check and see why they hadn't shipped, because they hadn't been ordered. I put them in the bag and I forgot to freaking finish it by, paying for it and stuff. So for some reason, Lego didn't want to send it to me because I hadn't paid for it, or even asked them to finalize the order, any of those stupid details.
Those jerks.
So yeah, they're kind of awful that way. But here we are. I got a lot more work done on this than I thought I would once I started, because I thought I was going to do a lot. And then once I started the first thing, I realized it was taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. And then when I got that part done, I kind of moved pretty quickly once I got to just building the house. So what's the first big difference you notice? It's been a long time since you've seen this.
Yeah. But I think the big first thing is it is now much closer to the water.
Yeah, it's about this much closer to the water.
Yeah.
Than it
looks like what, about 5 bricks?
5 bricks. 5 bricks shorter. And
Crystal loves the colors.
Yeah. Thank you.
The Australian version of colors.
Yeah, with the U.
Yep.
Those are better colors, I think.
They are better, I think. Yeah, Lego Team B also upset with Lego for dropping the ball on their precog game, not realizing you were intending to buy those bricks.
Right.
Also loves the colors. Yeah, so we're definitely back to Victor's swamp hideout. We have less rock work underneath and far more swamp now.
Yes. And I was able to salvage the rock work because if you remember, it's built into a rock, and the entire chimney is rock. Now, where that chimney ended up, I have no idea, but the rock work that I had under the porch is actually, I have it wrapping around back here. It's not attached because I'm still working on it, because I don't want it to be the wafery thing that I always do. I want to put some angles on it. So I ripped some of it off because I thought this would be a good place to angle something down. But then I really like this little sort of like cave thing I made. So I'm like, no, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That's why I think in my head. I talk like this inside my head.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog lives in your head.
Yeah, like that's why. I also did something where I had the okay. I don't even know if you'll be able to see this from here, but I'm super excited about it. When I brought the roof up, so the roof's a little bit taller than it was. Instead of I was using bars and clips. I switched to the Mixel hinges.
Okay.
Because you use those for rock work, so I bought a bunch to start trying to use them for my rock work. And I thought, what if I use them for the roof to make the roof look a little bowed? So this actually kind of angles in, so it looks a little bit more ramshackle. So it kind of bows down here and it angles in down here. Now, once I put the walls in here, it might force it back out. So I think I'm going to build these walls with brackets so it has the room to kind of slope it.
Okay, that'll be fun.
I'm super excited. Oh, and I built another roof to put another window in. I'm not sure if I want to do it yet, but I didn't actually build the window, so I left the old roof on.
Okay. I still like the windows with the kind of offset heights in them.
Oh yeah, wanted to highlight that.
It's always cute. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that.
So you can kind of see what he's talking about.
Yeah, you can see the bars, especially that you can tell on the top window, I think, a little more easily than the bottom one, even
Okay.
that they're sort of offset a little bit, give it kind of more that cartoony feel, whimsical feel. Let's go with whimsical. I think that's a better word for it.
I like it.
So,
I like that word being used.
and I see you've still got your home over Cypress cooking over here.
It is cooking, and I have ready for a video or perhaps some Brickworld virtual presentation we do at some point. The two original versions of this started with this. This is my first comb over Cypress.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the fireplace.
Yeah.
Here it is. I found it. It was
There it
right
is.
there. Okay,
Yep.
so that goes here.
No chimney on it, but you have the fireplace at least.
And this was version 2.
Okay.
Right here. And then it ended up with this over here, which I'm much happier with.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to use those dino tails the best to achieve that sort of
Exactly.
wrapped over look.
Yeah, and I ended up, let me see if we can focus on this a little bit. See this from a more better angle. I'm gonna go all the way down and then change this. I need to put that arm together. Whoops, too much pagoda house. Yeah, I guess
Still
you
back
can
there.
kind of see. You get a little bit better view of the sort of ramshackle roof from here, but if I move this even just a little bit, you can kind of see what is happening with the roots there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of the ramshackleness is lost when the tiles are perfect on it.
Yeah.
So messing those up a little or changing the color more or whatever would probably suggest that's more.
Yeah, I think this will come up. This will come up a little bit higher just to kind of make up for how thick the build of them is to get the tile on top of the plate.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's a good way to do this without knocking 1,000 things off of the table. Sure, there is. You can kind of see how this is working.
Right now we could just see hairy arm, but that's all
Oh,
right.
sorry.
We'll get
On this
there.
side, I still see hairy arm though.
Yeah. Now it's more now the shack's more in focus though.
That's important. So I'm working on
There you go.
fixing up this angle here because this is a full stud away from this to kind of keep the half timber going
Yeah.
and have this roof line here. Now what's unfortunate is now that I'm looking at it from here, there's a bunch of gaps here. So I mean the angle of this would probably have to be here, which means I still have to work on the height of where this connects.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see I've got the half timber pattern going.
Yep.
Not on this side yet, but on this side, this way.
You sure do. You even have a
Why I
back
turned
wall
it.
a little bit.
I do, and when I took the platform apart, I have this entire section ready back here with the roof ready to go. But I mathed wrong, and so this is still off by a little bit because the base is obviously 3 studs off, but it was 3 studs off on one side or the other. I'm like, oh, it's got to be this side because that's where the floor lined up, but I was wrong. So this needs to be moved over a bit. So I was basically working on the facade to be like, okay, look at all the work I did do. Because I wanted to kind of complete one side of the roof and obviously was not able to. But
Yeah.
I've got lots of stonework to fill in all the rest of the how the is this the chimney or is this the chimney? I think they're both the chimney. So I think it goes a little something like goes like this. So that
There you go.
it's built into the side of the rock, so the chimney connects directly to the rock face. And so I was excited about it because I had a bunch done that worked really well with the, taking out as much as I did at the bottom, kind of let me expand the way I wanted it to do for the to be more swamp oriented. So I can go ahead and move this back to where it was. and show you the pagoda house real quick since we're already at 8 o'clock.
More swamp focused.
More swamp focused, more hairy arm focused.
Yeah. Brickhead Brad suggests that maybe you're half Wookiee.
Yeah,
so you're not
no,
in a bikini.
I would not be surprised. You don't know what I'm wearing under my Brickworld shirt. I might be.
You're right. You're right.
You
Brickhead
don't
Brad is
know.
also excited that I hope excited that the Bills are up by 1 with the ball. So there you
Oh,
go.
thank goodness.
Yeah, already boring enough that the Eagles made it through, but that's all right.
God, I hate them. I don't hate them so much as I just their fans are just garbage people.
Yeah, well. Okay. We got
All right.
some things.
Yeah, so I'm having a similar problem to what you had with your whoops, I'm sorry, with your giant
The castle
your
tower
last
balls.
castle. Yes.
Mhm.
I am specifically all right, well, I don't know if you watched last week's live stream, but just
I saw some of it.
in general for this, there's a lot new here than you've seen.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks worth of building that you didn't see, and it would be 3 weeks if I had built on it this week, but I didn't. I went back to Victor's.
Yeah.
What do you think about the new stuff that you see? What do you see that's new?
Well, you went up to a 3rd level. That's sort of the obvious big
did.
thing.
Yes.
Looks like you're slowly working on pushing the roofs a little more inward, so it kind of steps in as it goes up.
Yeah.
You obviously have the very fancy thing above the moon window now as well.
Yeah.
So,
Thoughts on any of that?
well, I'm not sure. I guess what I'm struggling with
Mm-hmm.
is you've got the doors underneath that middle section, then you've got the half window, then you have another decoration above that. I feel like it needs a roof or something to break it up.
Uh-huh.
Or
Me
else,
too.
Or else it just kind of, looks like a big stack of things.
Mm-hmm. There used to be one here. Was it this one? There used to be, yeah. I used to have one there.
Yeah.
And I took it out because I didn't think it was, I was just like, well, it's not needed if I'm going to do this. And then that turned out to be incorrect. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere shoved inside the
Yeah.
landscaping.
There you go.
But I agree with you there. Any other thoughts? I expanded the,
Yeah.
this obviously went up a level as well. Got a door here. The patio comes out and has a roof now.
Yeah. I like all that. I also like that it goes out to the little pier next to the waterfall.
Love the little pier next to the waterfall. Still not crazy about my waterfall work here. Jesse suggested I add the Jesse's Brick Galaxy suggested I add the leaves falling into the water, which I love.
Yeah.
What do you think of the tree trunk? Because I think I'm happy with the foliage of the tree. It could probably crown out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I personally think that the to get it to not fall over, it no longer looks like a tree trunk. It looks like I'm trying to get it to not fall over, and I hate it.
I think the transition from the thinner trunk to the thicker one is distracting, to say the least.
Super distracting. So I have.
There are probably some ways around that. I just don't know if I have any genius thoughts on that.
Similar to you, I have a 2 to the 3rd problem.
Yes.
I think it's too crowded. It's too symmetrical. And it's too encumbered by the landscaping.
Divided by base.
Yeah. Or base. The landscaping and the base, both. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That part's not an equation. And then, so I think what I want to do is Google now full screen? Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you. Build a house separately. I'm going to take it out of there because I think I'm married to it fitting into those specific holes in the landscaping that I made, and they're different. All 3 sections are in a different type, like different level of hole. So I'm going to build the house flat, build it how I want to build it, plan all the wings, the patios, the entrances, the exits. I don't necessarily want them all on the same level even.
Mm-hmm.
To finish the base with a flat top, and then place the house on top of the base and integrate the two. So I'm doing a 2-ectomy the way you did.
All right.
With your tower. I'm gonna tackle it.
You're gonna try it.
I got 2 things on the table now, so I'm gonna be a little distracted. And so who knows what we're gonna see next week?
Squirrel, right? We got squirrel going on here. There's a squirrel, and Mark's gonna chase the squirrel. You're not making any noise now. You switched your mic, but it's not switched yet. I think you.
And now I got
Great.
it.
Now you're back. Nice.
You told me I had it, but I had to wait to see the green lights. And now I see them.
There you go. How about that?
So excellent. This is the time in the show that we hit this song that moved.
I didn't move it.
Oh, nope. That we just added a lot more songs.
A wise man once said about Mark, you think he drinks water like a great white shark. About every 60 minutes, he's gotta go. Nature calls 2, sometimes 3 times a show. Hold the stream, he'll shout and dash. The show is live, but he's off like a flash. Instead of telling him you hold the stream, Ben provides cover, the perfect team.
Yeah.
But let's get into some of the news. Do you need the bathroom break before we go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the bathroom break now, and then 40 minutes later, I have to take another bathroom break. Like,
First,
just like, hey, I made it 2 hours. Now it's like, well, now you're making up for lost time. So I'm gonna go. Nope, here's the right one, and I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Of course you are.
You're gonna go.
Why don't you start with those? Because unfortunately, I have to use the bathroom again already.
Cool, go do it.
What's it called? What's BPH?
BPH.
Ben plays a tune 2 minutes long while the Tainted sing along. Keeps the show rolling smooth, no rush. Mark mutes his mic so you can't hear the flush.
Mark is muted. So let me unmute him.
The reason I mute myself before I go is because I like to keep listening to what's going on, but I don't want everyone to hear me pee.
Yeah, I
It's been
managed
60 minutes since I last went, so I'll mute it and I'll be listening.
Fair enough. Yeah,
You'll be listening to me.
Hey, hey, Mark's gotta go. No interrupting, the stream's flow. He'll be quick, won't take too long. He'll be done by the end of this song. Hey, hey, Mark's gotta go. Mark's gotta go. Hey, hey, Mark's gotta go.
I really appreciate this comment from Nick and Bricks. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Everything looked good to him. There's something I want from this that I haven't been getting, and I can see it in my head.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like creatively, I need to do it. Otherwise, I will always look at it and be like, no, I know what this should look like. Because most pagoda houses they respect the landscape around them. And this is respecting it so much that it's being kind of like eaten up by it. So the house needs to be built first. Not that that's the way the pagoda house would be built, because if it's respecting the landscape that they decided to build it in, they would just like fix to the landscape. But I want the landscape to fix to the house because I have a specific view of the house, and I think I've been forcing the house into that. I think one of the things, besides the fact, like you said, Ben, that the what's it called? The center looks like a stack.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be a roof. I'm completely losing that entrance, and I think the entrance is pretty strong. And
it needs to like be pushed. The second level needs to be pushed in more. You kind of figure out how to get it to work.
100%.
Yeah.
So maybe that angle doesn't need to be there. Who knows? There's got to be a way to because those roofs, as they started coming in, I like the roofs a lot, but they are certainly taking away from the steps to the screen doors, and the entrances to those houses are usually rather open and zen and kind of welcoming, and this is getting pushed further and further back into the corner. And so that's kind of the thing I want to fix, as it were.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess much like you're saying that the two cubed problem, this is exactly how I felt about the castle.
Yep.
Like, I feel like it's not what I want, even if people say or think or indicate that it looked good enough to them, or they thought it was fine, or I was being too hard on myself. There's
Yeah.
still a certain level where you're, it's just not what you want, and that's the problem, right?
Exactly. And that's why I say I appreciate this a lot, because I genuinely do appreciate that you like the work that I put in. I like it where it's at as well. I think I would love it if it got to the place where it is in my head. And that's kind of like, well, it doesn't need to come to Brickworld this year. I'd like it to, but I also want to keep working on it until I'm happy with it. Because it's my time, it's my life, and I would be much happier with it if it looked the way I wanted it to. So thank you very much, Nick and Brick. So there's nothing against you.
Right.
Brick Jedi, great looking landscaping. Thank you very much. I appreciate that as well.
Yeah,
And that's another thing I want to challenge myself on is landscaping like Ben. Not even that I'm like that's I put it that way because you inspire me to build landscaping, but I think like you build landscaping the way I want mine to achieve, and it doesn't do that yet. And I look at yours and I go like, yes, that's kind of like what I want.
That's what's in my brain.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of this, maybe the lesson is, or I don't know, lesson's the right word. My thought on it, my reflection would be build for yourself first.
100%.
So you've gotta like it before you should validate what anyone else thinks about it. That doesn't mean that people can't make suggestions that you would say, yeah, that would really help my vision, or yeah, that would look really cool.
Or love what you have that you're about to rip apart,
Yeah. Well, let's get into the Lego news.
I'm excited about the segment because I'm not aware of any Lego news for the week. I kept checking.
There are two things.
Ooh.
Well, we'll talk. One is more
funsies,
more complete than the other.
Okay.
But let's talk about it because one of them, there's so little information on it, it's almost insulting.
We have complete news and we have incomplete news. Which
Very
are we
much
starting
so.
with?
We're going to start with the complete news.
Okay, awesome.
And that would be this.
What on earth is that?
So they are doing this is Jay's Brick Block. We're trying to go there a little more so because they don't have as many pop-up ads. They still have plenty of ads, but not as many pop-up ads as the other place we sometimes go. But it sounds as if Lego is doing a series called Restaurants of the World.
And this is the French Cafe, obviously.
Yes.
So Lego Team B says great perspective, Ben, and gives you a noise. We don't have a noise banner. We need that.
We do.
Yeah, it's a good broy thing to say. Brickhead Brad says
Buffalo 22, Kansas City 21, Kansas City with the ball midfield in the fourth quarter.
Thank you. You keep us updated, please. Brickhead Brad says brick building is a never-ending lesson. Our style and techniques always evolve. Always.
Yeah, and I find I get in love with one way of doing it, and I keep doing it. Eventually, I try to expand a little bit, but it's kind of one thing at a time. I'm going to try this. And
that is the
same, and then try this and keep a lot of the other stuff the same.
That is the story of the way I build rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Restaurants of the World. First one, French Cafe.
Nice. It's naked.
It's naked. Yep. And that's kind of some of the stuff to talk about on this. It's $80. It is about 1,100 pieces, though. No minifigures, and no interior to speak of. It's just a facade.
Does it remind you of any? Ooh, what? Sorry, I got angry. let me rephrase that. Ew, what? Like there's no roof, there's no back walls, there's
no. So here's the back. Not even actually have a picture. Here's the back.
Yeah. I'm glad we made this banner. Barf in the bad way. Here, yep.
Yeah.
Barf.
Yeah, so it's kind of gotten a bit of mixed reviews because the techniques that are used on it, on the stuff that is built, is quite lovely. But it's got no minifigures, no interior, no back, no roof.
like, boo.
So, it's kind of one of those things where it'd probably be a decent parts pack, but I'm not sure that it's going to be, what everyone wants. It feels like it needs either an interior or minifigures or probably both. And it doesn't have either. Let's see here. The price is $80. As I said, Brickhead Brad.
Yeah.
You can see it right up on there for the US. Lego Team B says Lego has lost their mind at this point. The scale is off for the current building scales. Well, that might be true, Brickdad, but that's maybe why they didn't include minifigures, because they're like, this doesn't match. But the doors are minifig scale, I guess.
It's like the pyramid
So I don't
in what way though? Because it's like, yeah, it's not even architecture scale. It's kind of a mini figure scale. I like the facade a lot. I just think that people are going to use it as a base for modular, which great. Let's do that. I would do that if I was still building city stuff. I'm so weird. This is, and you missed this last week, Ben. I forget which set it was. It's I think maybe the Trevi Fountain. Yes, it's the Trevi Fountain with the lifestyle shots. Not only did they did the books not have anything on the binders? We don't know what was on the binders because they literally took the bookcase and turned all the books around, so it was the pages out. Like you have to guess what book that is. Like this is a bookshelf for this is like a gateway set for A Full Curious.
Yeah.
It does need awesome lifestyle picks. It needs some backwards books.
This is what we got. It's got a fern and some sort of weird statue down here at the bottom.
Come on, Buffalo.
I don't know. Here's another one. They're like, hey, it's on a bookshelf now because, why wouldn't it be?
And the books are backwards.
They are backwards, just like you said. Yeah, I don't want to see what those books are. You don't want to know what your books are. It's a mystery every time you reach in there.
But Ben, did they throw away all their blank books? Because we know they have them.
I don't know. I guess so.
Maybe they're
still
renting
like taupe and mauve colored covers,
Mauve.
Yes, they're very boring colors.
Oh yeah. So I'm sorry, this is the complete news because that's an oxymoron at this point.
This one is more complete than the next one, yes.
Okay. So
you can believe it.
Ralph Nader has zero interest in this. Not bad looking, just not interested in it. Parts pack for me, great. I mean, because there's a new naked color.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we should take a look more so at the parts than anything else.
Fine. Yeah, if we have to keep looking at it. I guess
this is nicely built.
What makes the back of that chair?
The back of the chair it's the short little bar, and then it's got one of those coffee pot handle pieces, and then that blue piece that I'm sure you're looking at was a Ninjago piece that they used as like a handle for a sword.
Okay.
Before I think it was in like trans black or trans brown.
I like the use. I love the use of the power miners drill in dark green.
Yeah, for the trees, for the topiaries.
I'm sorry. What I find absolutely sick in this is the glass patterns. Lego Team B also says, homeowner, I'm proud of my confusing scale incomplete Lego set, but embarrassed by all of my reading material.
That's what that lifestyle shot says.
It's kind of like a big postcard. I agree.
UCS postcard.
UCS postcard. Yes. Good call.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
The street here though is made of that small double arch piece.
Okay, I kind of love
different
that.
Directions.
I'm so torn on this.
So that's a good technique.
There's a ton of great techniques in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of great parts in this. My bigger worry is because I only buy things for parts. Who is this for? Like, don't get lost in the weeds. Hey, wait a minute. Go back, please. Stay here. Yeah. Oh, that's a windscreen. That's the
book cover.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's a book. Oh,
book cover.
That's great.
Yeah. So there's nice detail here.
There's amazing detail. I'm confused about the scale and the fact that there's no minifigs. I'm really angry that there's no interior, but maybe the set is not for me.
Mm-hmm. There's a ton of confusion in this.
I believe that word is tonne.
Yeah, that's, Okay, a tonne.
Oh, hey, stay here for a second. I do appreciate that. To get the angle that they wanted to go, they had to snot some cheese slope. I feel like I've done that a lot. Hey, how are these? I'm pointing with my mouse, like you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the arch above the doorway. I realize I'm like squirrel here right now, but
here
like,
it is. Yep.
yeah, what's happening?
Yeah, so they've got this new wedge piece in here. I'm sure these are clipped in. There must be some sort of bar running across the top, and they have them clipped in. There's obviously a big gap here, which kind of looks goofy. Maybe from the front on, it doesn't look so bad.
I'm confused too, actually. So I'm going to grumfluence all over this. I'm sorry. I'm going to, how would you say it? I'm going to content grump. However, I'm going to buy this like day one, full price Jones, because I want these parts. What color green is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I think the middle's dark green, but this outside stuff might be sand green, but I can't tell.
I can't tell if it's sand green or bright green. Or new green, maybe?
Maybe it's a new green. Who knows?
Perhaps. I don't know why I'm doing that with my voice.
I
I think that's like the cool light aqua on the chairs.
Yep. That is like a light aqua color.
Or cool aqua, light aqua, or whatever.
This piece here, the top of the chair, looks like a boat stud, but it's flat.
Which I think they use in the Super Mario sets.
Okay.
I think I've seen that. Maybe I'm making it up. Who knows? I lie a lot.
I don't know. It might be new, might not be new.
We have a medium nugget garage, 1x2 with garage door groove. Yeah.
Back to lifestyle shot. Let's see if we can get back here. So there we go.
The mug seems to be filled with coffee. The Harry Potter. Oh, the doors. I really like those doors, and those are brick built windows. Underneath
here it doesn't look dark green. It looks regular green.
Yeah, and then the tree. So okay, here's what I see in this picture. So I see.
This looks terrible.
I know. I see green on the doors, and the was it the transverse? What's above it called? I forget.
Yeah.
The topiary are dark green, and then sand green around the windows.
Yep,
that's what I see.
That's what it is. So I think it's regular green, dark green, sand green.
Waste of time. We should not have talked about that because we won't know until we see it.
Yep.
Brickhead Brad asks, are they going to do a New York pizza shop next? Are they going to do a Chicago hot dog stand?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the other question I had on this is if this is Restaurants of the World and they plan to do a bunch of these, what else is so iconic that you could do this? Like, okay, French architecture, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But then where do you go? I guess, it's like a sushi restaurant, fish and chip store. Like, what are we doing?
Well, let's say we didn't see the French Cafe. If someone came to you and said, I don't know if you can kick French Cafe out of your head, but someone came to you and said, iconic world restaurants, what would you come up with? Like, would you come up with a list? Would you come up with one? I don't know.
I would struggle very, very hard because I thought like for American cuisine, for example.
Brickhead Brad, sir. No.
That is a little harsh.
And she ran out of the room. Probably because I yelled at Brickhead Brad. But she was like, "Oh no!"
The Chinese architecture. Thanks, VMAC.
I mean,
Chinese architecture, they have things that they put out to tell you this is a Chinese restaurant. Maybe in China, it's not quite like it is here.
I'd say so. If we're going to see
elements,
a French cafe, I'd say we'd see like a Brazilian steakhouse. We'd see a Korean barbecue. We'd see some sort of like in the South China area, there's a lot of outdoor restaurants. We'd see who knows.
Yeah, a diner for the U.S. I mean, but they've already done a Parisian cafe and an American diner in. And now kind of a fish and chips like looking thing in the modulars.
Yeah. Brickdead Builds suggests just go off of what Disney has at Epcot Center's World Bazaar. Brick Dynasty wants a Dunkin' Donuts to VMAC Dax list. Lego Team B says English pub.
But we just got one in the modular, right?
Alabama Waffle House.
That sounds fun.
Just Brick Jedi just says Mexican.
All right.
Tijuana. taco restaurant.
Yeah, thanks for naming types of cuisine. I get that, but are any of these have tied to an iconic architecture as well?
American Fusion.
Maybe yes, maybe no. I guess I don't. I'm not sure. And it could be they've got this already pinned down and they know exactly what they're doing.
Brickhead Brad, or not Brickhead Brad, Brickdad Builds. They're going to do like West Loop Chicago architecture, where it's factories that are converted into restaurants that have been opened by people who didn't win Top Chef. Oh, sorry, Ben. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, McDonald's, all countries covered in one.
There we go.
Yeah, I did have McDonald's in Jamaica when I was there. So
The jokes. Yeah, and when I lived in Malaysia, they opened the first McDonald's in that state while I was there, and I was like, "Get out of here! These people are so healthy. Go anywhere else, please. It's the best food in the world."
Yeah. Who knows?
Now I have... Ew. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I saw it, my first reaction was, "It looks beautiful."
Same.
What is it?
What was the first thing I
Like
did?
a lot of it confused me. You know,
I went like, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, and I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem.
I grumpfluenced my balls off on this thing.
But if it's just a parts pack,
Welcome,
I think it's
Allison
an
and Robert.
ooh, honestly.
The first comment, this person, hopefully they did not just get here, came in right after I said I grumpfluenced my balls off. But welcome, Allison Robert. Thank you for joining us. Says, just made an Argentinian style barbecue grill. No building needed.
Okay, there you go. Sounds fun. What do they just do? Dig a pit and you know, put a pig on a spit, or is that the kind of thing they do? You know,
that's why I brought up Tijuana and Malaysia. Well, I said South China region because like a lot of the restaurants are just outside, and there's like a small kitchen hidden in some sort of like either strip mall or food cart or somewhere, because it's really hot in these areas, and they do the cooking in as open a place as they can, and all the seating is outside.
Yeah.
Buffalo on Casey's fourth and goal. Come on. Fourth and goal. Come on. I know, but they're too far behind to kick. Not tied to architectural, but to styles of food. Yeah, they're like UCS postcards. Like some.
You need both. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Is that this is restaurants of the world. Your restaurant has to be tied to a type of food and has to have some architectural detail. Otherwise, I'm just building a square building and slapping on it Korean barbecue. No,
you're not.
Cares.
You are not building a square building. You're building half a triangle.
You're right.
You're building half an octagon, half a hexagon.
Half a hexagon building and slapping, takeout window on it, and that's it.
Just in case somebody just joined us, show the back again, please.
Yeah, tied at 29 now.
Okay.
Let's see. We got to get to the right one. Sorry, everybody. Here it is.
Window and window. Yeah, but
it is up here.
We don't got to get to nothing. It's only 8:30.
Look at this.
Actually, we should get to the news as quickly as possible, because for my silly segment, well, it's not silly. For the Lego idea books, I kind of went prolific with putting up almost every page of the idea books that I.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I kind of went a little different on that, but we'll talk about it because mine ties into the other bit of news we have.
Okie doke.
So, I don't know, man. It's disappointing and exciting at the same time.
Yeah. No. I'm excited about this as a parts pack, 100%.
With Greek food have Greek architecture. Well, I assume that's what they're going for.
In Italian, I'd buy an Italian cafe. It looks like Trevi Fountain. If they do as well with that as they did with this, like, come on, yeah, 100%.
But you can, architecture of the world, but this is specifically restaurants of the world.
Brazil, where it's like bright, like, I don't know.
That's why I'm kind of like, okay, we're getting nothing but a bunch of restaurant front ends.
Then you know what this is? This is cozy Lego sets.
It's kind of what it feels like.
They're putting up a facade, putting out furniture. It's exactly what we do on Wednesday nights with Brickworld Crossing. Because what do I have set up? I'm like, here's this area. We're going to put out a bunch of furniture and make it look cozy.
Yeah, this is what we heard from Lego Team B. Lego has lost their minds.
You're not wrong.
Maybe. I don't know.
You're not wrong. Well, or maybe their mind got taken over by like a very large committee that just isn't thinking things through. Or the focus groups were like, oh, my husband or wife love Lego and I want to get into it too. And this would look great on our bookshelf where we turned all our books around.
Yes. where we're embarrassed of our reading,
So
embarrassed of the literature.
Cheeto's house, as you know, is also a gym, and there's a business next to it that used to be a Montessori school, and or charter school, as they call them in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then they sold the building and moved up to Evanston, and a company called Small Cheval bought it. So it's a very popular burger restaurant, and so it's been a pain in the ass to get over to Cheeto's house recently. However, the most fun part is when I leave Cheeto's house with Orion, they are busing in the cul-de-sac, which the only reason there's a cul-de-sac in the city is because there's a Chicago library branch there. So there's free parking in a huge parking lot with a cul-de-sac, but now everyone's going to Small Cheval. So I had to park way down at the end of the parking lot by the library instead of by Cheeto's dad's gym. And they're busing in the cul-de-sac. So I'm bringing a mixed breed hound. She's 9 different types of hound. And I trust her very much because she never causes trouble. But if I'm not looking, she is inside the busing station eating every leftover of burger that came off of those trays
For sure.
at Small Cheval. And she has gotten a lot of burgers and fries and sweet potato fries, which are good for her. But I'm just sitting there, I'm like reading my phone, I'm leaving, I look around, and she's at a smorgasbord. I'm just not used to worrying about that when I leave Cheeto's house. So yeah, that's back of house, hot mess. You're busting a cul-de-sac.
That is weird.
Yeah.
We need an Italian winery.
Yes.
Okay, Nick and Bricks agree. Except if this is all you're getting, what is it going to look like?
Right. We need a facade for a vineyard. So there's no like actual like trellises or vines. There's just like a beautiful entrance to like where you go and get like the winery tour. All right, let's withhold our judgment.
Your designer trying to make their mark on a style of building, or it's a build for people that plan lifestyle shots. Yeah, it's kind of what it feels like. It's like the home day. It's like that silly love sign. There is a market for it. It's just not us unless we're buying it for parts. So, I don't know. Okay, so the other bit of news.
Incomplete news.
Yes, this is it.
Yes, this is very much a bit of news.
It is a tiny bit, but they've made a big deal out of this, that they are going to be doing One Piece, which is a Japanese anime, manga, whatever it's called, show. We've seen sets from other people who are ripping off this property in the Blockoverse.
Yes, we have.
Maybe you remember the guy who has the sword in his mouth.
Yes.
He's part of this series. He's got 3 different swords.
There was some sunshine, rainbow, lion-headed ship.
Yes, that's like their main one. Allison asks, is the show any good? No idea, because the live action version for Americans is coming out on Netflix, but not until October.
Pardon me. Actually, I've watched it, so that's untrue.
Well, no. They have a cartoon version.
No, I've watched the live action version.
Oh,
I swear to God, I have. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's what Matt Husband has been watching.
This?
Yeah, hold on. I don't know. I just lost that because I opened up freaking Firefox. Scroll down again. Sorry. What is he watching? Hold on. He's not home right now. Otherwise, I'd clarify. I do think, yeah. So season 2. Everyone wants to know when One Piece season 2 will.
Maybe there's a season 1 already. I don't know.
There is a season 1 already. So season 2 is coming.
So is this recognizable to you? It debuted in 2023. You're right.
Okay.
So it is out, and they're coming out with a second season apparently, and then it's also going to have Lego tied to it.
One piece of news.
Yeah.
Nick and Brick says, what does everyone in America who doesn't know about manga think when they hear One Piece? Well, now, because it's my husband's watched it and I know it's a manga, and I think he tried to watch I think we tried to watch the cartoon. This kind of happens when we go to St. Louis because his niece is very into our niece
anime
is very into anime, and she likes this. So I've seen the cartoon, and I just kind of like disassociate. I think when we were there for Thanksgiving and Christmas, he watched it on Netflix, and I was kind of like, creating segments for the show. I know there's a very scary person with knife fingers. Am I getting this right? Rather watch the anime version of One Piece. Yeah, I think that's kind of the general consensus I've heard. Is like the manga is like the animated version of the manga is very good, and like it doesn't need to be live action. And so people, I've heard them express being almost offended that they did a live action version of it. But
whatever,
Lego,
you know.
I mean, from what I see in the show, I want to see this. I want to see the damn sets. Like when are these releasing? Because
I
Ben,
think
I'm
it's
worried about.
October. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I'm worried about March release madness because we're not having as big of a March as we had last year.
There's some things that were still withheld. We have lots of F1 sets and a few other things that are coming out.
Where are the new Animal Crossing sets?
Yeah, I don't know. They still like announcing things. They always seem to have a few tricks up their sleeve. So I think there'll still be some stuff.
So Nick and Brick says, I guess it's a popular show. I've never heard of it. So it's got 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb and 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me check the animated. That's the checking Google music.
Yeah, I like that music.
It's good. Good stuff.
But this is it, right? Is all we're getting is that they're doing something with One Piece, and that's it. And so it's kind of like, all right, you announced a partnership, I guess, but like gave us nothing at all.
Allison Robert asks, is it rated for adults? Is the knife finger guy called Freddy Krueger? No. I know that's, of course, the first thing I thought of because I am a man of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, they're just ripping off Freddy Krueger. So the One Piece series, the animated one was from 1999, and it's at 9 out of 10 on IMDb. I didn't check Rotten Tomatoes, but the One Piece rating, well, it's on Netflix, so it's an original series on Netflix. The rating. I don't know what it is. I would guess it was like if you're going to put a movie rating on it, I would say PG-13 because there is some violence and stress and blah blah blah. So Brickhead Brad says that Taylor Swift is at 32 while Buffalo's at 29 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left.
Casey just kicked a field goal. Taylor Swift just made a field goal, and now Buffalo has the ball, the chance to close it out if they
you guys
score and leave very little time left. Who knows?
Oh, there's tons of time left.
I said they have a chance to score and leave very little time.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I only listened to half of what you said.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I do that a lot. We both do that to each
My
other.
wife does the same.
We've admitted that.
Oh yeah.
So is my hugs band.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to run the show, listen to your co-host, and try to be doing something else. It is difficult.
I've missed so many good jokes, and I've listened. Like I did it to Brick Dad Builds and Jesse last week, and I know damn well to listen to everything Jesse says because Jesse drops the best jokes in like the quickest, quietest tone, very subtle, and like and literally like repeated some things that Brick Dad Builds had just said. Like, and then I jumped in the ocean and caught sea creatures, and he was like, "Yeah, that's what you did," because he had just told me that's what I had done. Anyway, I'm going to stop looking for the rating. Anyone have an inside info on the upcoming Star Trek set besides GWP?
Nope.
No.
All we know, I think, at this point is it's supposed to be Next Generation and it's supposed to be the Enterprise. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Next Generation, to judging by the GWP. GWP.
Yeah. Do we know who the designer is? No, we don't. We don't know really anything.
His name is Joe.
Okay. Mark says it's Joe. So the pirate thing got me thinking, and we talked about this, and it's even part of our new review of Lego Ideas book.
Yes, I have this slide as well. Not surprised.
So we talked about the fact, and you and I talked about this quite a bit. We were reminiscing on these old idea books, and I found both of mine. Actually,
I did not find mine.
I have 3. I have 2. I only have 2 books, but I have 2 copies of one of them. Here are the 2 that I had.
Do you now? Okay.
6. It's upside down. 697. Is this one?
Yep.
Kind
You
of got
are
like
correct.
it's from 1996, and it's kind of got like a time cruisers vibe on the front.
Very much so.
And then this one from 1990.
Which I do believe is the holy grail of idea books. Hit us
Yeah,
up in
I
the
think
chat if
this
you have
one-
no idea what we're talking about. Have you ever seen an idea book before? How old are you people? That's what we're
Yeah.
asking.
This one actually, both of mine, when I looked at them in the very back, they had a sticker sheet. I still have the sticker sheet for both of them attached, intact. Didn't use any of it.
Allison likes those. Yeah, they seem to. I'll go over that with my slides. They seem to all kind of have like that was the trend is they had stickers to enhance your creations as well, kind of match what they were doing. VMAC Deck has the 1991. Allison Robert says 47. I had the one from 86, 87. Thank you so much. I'm 48, so I'll show you some of the ones that I had. Oh, they're not in the slides, so I may have to bring them up after the fact because there's a lot of slides. I cut them out.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring up. So when we were talking about these, so our
Mhm.
segment here, we're calling it like
What? Yeah.
Where we wanted to talk about some of the inspiring or interesting things that came out of these idea books. But because of the One Piece news, there was I got a little more pirate focused because the other thing that I've noticed is that pretty much every theme seems to have at least a set or a few sets where they just smash pirates in along with them. And I think you'll be
Okay.
surprised, Mark, by how often that happens. And so we're going to take a look at some of that too. But first, let's talk about the ideas.
You're gonna have a lot less opportunity to say like what with mine.
Well, that's fine.
The airport sticker comes in handy, says Allison.
Yeah. So this was page 36 and 37 of the 260 book, right when pirates were new. Sort of like the first wave when this was going to be their evergreen forever theme.
Yeah.
And it was very inspiring, honestly.
Look at you
for
knowing
me.
the page numbers. Oh, they're on the page. Never mind.
Yeah, 36, 37. Yeah.
Apologies. Keep going.
Yeah, so they had this sort of the idea books had these big foldouts that had a big scene,
Yeah.
and then they had a couple of additional pages with instructions to build a model that was either on this page or the following page, and they kind of paste the instructions right over top of some more interesting MOCs.
Yeah. If you were
Which is
following,
kind of unfortunate, honestly.
if you were buying the idea books whenever they would come out, like Allison and I were, when this one came out, it was like epic. Like these spreads were like gorgeous.
Yeah. It's like here's an example. Mark will maybe be able to shift over to me here.
I sure will.
Yeah, so here you can see there some of the mock is covered up. Some of the mock work, I guess I'll call it mock. The official Lego ideas builds are covered up by the instructions for
Yeah.
the adorable little builds that are in here. Might be, I think it's this thing right up here that they're building. So that's kind of the idea that was behind these. I'll say the 1991 I preferred because if we switch over to the one that came out in 96, the 697 one, this was the look.
Yes.
And we talked about how by 96, it had kind of taken a turn. We had gotten the Armada guys now.
Mhm.
I liked the red coat version more than the blue coat version of the soldiers, but the Armada and the Islanders stuff was just kind of strange and seemed like they were going into a different direction where the models were more about wacky play features than they were about, you know, a nice look or a pleasing aesthetic.
Okay.
They're getting juniorized, I guess, to some extent. And, you know, that's tough because it's already a kid's toy, you know?
So VMAC Deck says, speaking of this era, I pulled 2 Majesto figures from bulk sorting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that was this one, and they I guess maybe this was the whole genesis for lifestyle here because we've got we're on the deck of a pirate ship.
Why are there roads?
I don't know. Yeah, they have this one. I don't know if this is supposed to be a beach. I assume that's what this is. I don't know.
Well, why is the boat on the road?
Two
Instead
of them are on the beach. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
And no one knew.
Very weird.
Little odd. Yeah.
But it was still cool
Yeah.
that they were doing this kind of thing. That same book they also had these. I took these with my cell phone today.
It's very time cruisery.
Yeah, very time cruisery. And I think, I don't know
Time
if
cruisery.
the idea on this was like, hey, this is what we perceive kids build like. They just take all of their stuff and jam it together into one big super mock or something.
And that comes down a lot from Lego Corporate. We had that at Legoland where this is how kids build. And it's like, well, if you do your research, kids build that way because they don't have they would rather build form and get rid of if they don't have all the pieces in the same color, they would rather ignore the color and build the form that they want. So just build something amazing for kids to see and inspire them without trying to build like they do. Allison says the internet was becoming more accessible in '96. I wonder if that had an effect on the quality of these books.
I would say so. I mean, I would suspect, for us, because before you had alternate builds on the back of the box as well. They've sort of made some changes in both promoting how they want you to see the sets, as well as the fact that there is images for mocks everywhere out there.
Yeah.
And they don't need to compete with mockers. They more like need to sell their sets, right? So I can understand that to some extent.
And even in '96, there was maybe, what was it? Rec.toys.lego, and then there was like Brick Bay was starting up. There wasn't really the internet wasn't bringing A-fold creations together yet. It was like mostly the people with a lot of money that could actually build amazing things and post them. Bricklink did not exist yet. The massive market of being able to buy bulk bricks wasn't there. eBay was certainly there, and it was starting, but it wasn't there in '96.
Yeah, and then Brick Bay, of course, became Bricklink because you couldn't call it Brick Bay.
Flickering GeoCities had Lego mock pages. GeoCities certainly did.
GeoCities.
And
then we had
Mock
was a
site.
Mock Shelf or Brick Shelf.
Brick Shelf, yes.
Mock pages.
And Lugnet.
And there are lots of different places.
Christina from Lugnet has watched our stream.
All right.
We've had a real celebrity in here.
Real celebrity. Mm-hmm. So that brings us to One Piece.
Okay.
And these are like some of the things we found that they're like selling on Amazon for this particular series. And apparently Lego's going to do some prettier versions of these, I guess. And I guess I kind of viewed One Piece to an extent as anime or maybe like a Japanese style influence smashed together with pirates. And so I pulled up some other sets that are basically just some theme smashed with a pirate. And I want to know if you think that they're interesting or if they're like, what?
Okay, good.
And so
good
let's
question.
get to some of that. So this first one.
Yeah, I love this. This is so
this is Europa, right?
This is. We brought this up in Gonzo Lego themes.
Yeah, this was actually apparently it says used with permission from the Lego group. That was from the website I pulled it from. They don't care if we're
probably Brick Journal.
Yeah, doing this or not. But I guess to some extent I kind of viewed this as Napoleonic War type stuff. I guess this was pretty late in production before they canceled it.
Yeah.
But it does feel very much like Castle Pirate smashed together.
Yes.
I think it probably was canceled more than anything because it was too close to Pirates. They were using, similar torsos, similar everything. And maybe they would have changed some of that, but it was like too close to both of the existing properties.
This might have been in an era too where they were like not finding the in their focus groups enough support for the military aspect of it with their values and with the values of the because at this point in time they were focusing mostly on Germany and America and the United States for their main markets. Yeah. And a lot of times, from what I understand, they couldn't get those two groups to agree on things, and so there was a lot of milquetoast stuff, like as we saw in like the Dino Hunter series, where there was the U.S. version where they shot them, and there was the European version where they captured them
and snuggled them closely. But in the European versions, you could have wine glasses, but not in the American versions. You could shoot all you wanted, but you couldn't have a glass of wine after.
Oh, we will definitely talk about that tonight.
So here's another thing. Two things smashed together. This was Creator / Roller Coaster smashed together with Pirate.
I liked it.
I thought it was fun too.
I really liked it.
This must have done well because they've redone this like 3 or 4 times with other sub themes plus roller coaster.
Well, and at the time, like this was a really cool set. Like the coaster track had just come out.
Yep.
The fact that it was a pirate roller coaster was cool because it gave us some like minifigure torsos and like kind of kept pirates alive. And it was fun. There was action to it. There was new pieces. They weren't, as recent as this was, they weren't producing 30 new sets a month like they are now.
Yeah. And it's had Eldorado Fortress-y type vibes, kept that color scheme alive.
Sure.
The roller coaster itself, the coaster was a shark. So that was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one smashed together. Here's the next one.
Oh no. Like what? Sorry.
Yeah. So this one's probably got scale problems more so than anything.
Of course.
But this is, of course, Star Wars smashed together with pirates.
That's how I want the roof of my of Clive's hideout to look like, or
Multi-level.
Victor's hideout. Yeah, well, because it looks like it dips down in the middle. It's very haphazard.
Yeah. Well,
in the way that it comes together, which I do believe fits with the show. I'm not caught up on the show, by the way.
Okay.
I want to catch up on some of these comments here. Brick Dad Build says Lego MOCs are overshadowed by IPs now, and that's why so many people at shows ask you, "Well, is this from something?" Yeah, from my brain. Originated there. Brick Dad Builds also says the ship they are making will be Super Mario vibes with pirate themes. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what you're going to get because that's where it's from. The idea.
I agree with Allison here that the Friends roller coaster is nice as well. The pirate coaster, the Friends pirate coaster.
Oh, you got to get 3 things in there to get that one.
Yeah.
So they've done a couple of different Star Wars pirate ones. That's less so Lego's
They sure have
doing than just the fact that the IP is doing that.
Yeah.
Kind of doing like a Goonies thing. Oh no.
Oh yeah. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
We're gonna get Eagles and Chiefs again. Oh goodness. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we have different teams in the Super Bowl this year.
I'm gonna root for the Chiefs.
Just because you hate the Eagles that much. Just because you hate the Eagles fans that much.
I don't even hate the Eagles. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway. Emotions aside, this set is weird.
At least you get all the characters. I don't know if they'll make more than one set for this thing, honestly. This might be the only one you get.
What's the interior look like in this one?
No idea.
Okay. I assume
I'm
there is
guessing
one.
it's not super exciting, but there's probably something in there.
I don't know how much room is left after they do that much snot work, but I bet you there's some play features to it.
Yeah. Next one. What were these smashed together?
I have to say, like, what? Because this looks what? No, it's Ninjago and Pirates. It
is, yeah. And this kind of
remember this,
like what they call sci-fi kind of vibe.
Yeah, very much so.
So it was like sci-fi plus Ninjago plus pirates. So it was like what, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
The color scheme was interesting, I guess, different.
This is more like Ninjago flirts with Star Wars. It's honestly how I feel about it. Like with the what Star Wars did with pirates, maybe Ninjago can too. Like that's what it feels like. Sci-fi, yeah, that's a flash in the pan, really.
Yeah, and I mean, like the monkey there, you can see he's like metallic silver. He's like a robot monkey, I guess. I don't know. They have like a genie pirate.
Yeah.
They had that cool sword though. The guy's holding the sword with the cuts in it. It's like a cutting cutlass. So what do you call it? The serrated. He's got a serrated cutlass.
Okay.
So yeah, this one was kind of interesting.
Allison says that it reminded her of Adventurers with Ninjago. Good call. We did an entire Zeppelin zhuzhing episode 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Let's see what else they can smash together.
Brickhead Brad likes it. This is fun. Oh, interesting to me. I liked this. I thought the fact that they put so much, it's almost like a UCS dream set or dreaming gaga, depending on who manufactured it.
Right. I bought this one. I never put it together, but it is really cool looking.
Yeah, incredibly so. And advanced techniques for something that seemed to be geared at kids because it had like the cartoon. to kind of promote it, I was very impressed with this. I love what they did with the putting the lantern on the front like that. Like instead of like trying to force, like they've had some
Yeah.
trouble with their bow sprites, right?
Yeah.
This is very
cool idea.
simple. Yeah, exactly. And because it looks then like a deep sea. What has the football fish sort of thing where
Yeah.
they have the light that they
anglefish or whatever.
angler. Yeah.
The anglerfish. And so yeah, it's got that kind of vibe. It's also got like this black and white tiger shark that's also a skeleton. And he kind of, the farther back you go, he has less and less flesh on him. He's got the eye, single eye there, and the other eye in the back. It is nightmare fuel meets coolness. So I think of all the pirate sets, this one, maybe it gets a like what for how crazy it is, but it's a really cool set.
I would never say like what to this. What's that? Sorry.
For its crazy factor, not because it's not awesome.
Sure,
It's
but it's incredibly interesting and a very good build. So I'd say like you may look at it and say like what, but it'd be more in awe instead of like confusion.
It's not like what? It's more like what?
So Allison says the whole Exo Knights series seems like a mashup of Castle and Space. It was like Exo Force and Castle, where they're like, hey, what if there were knights, but they also had exosuits, and therefore in Exo Knights, it was they were kind of like doing their best to make vehicles and also please Castle fans. I was done. I was contracting for Legoland at the time. They were trying to do another we could do something as great as Chima, as great as Ninjago, like we tried with Chima with Nexo Knights, and they didn't do that either. Brickhead Brad says the seat needed to be 2 studs wider.
Okay, I mean I have to build it to tell you, but
on this,
I would assume so because this was our last one.
Oh yeah, okay.
It'll be here somewhere.
And then alternate candidate says, absolutely love this one. One, if not the best dream set. One of, if not the best dream set to date.
They've had a few good dreams ones.
They've had some really good ones.
Yeah.
This one is fantastic.
This one is cool.
Yeah, agreed though.
So let's see, what else have they mashed up? This one I was already mentioned.
Yes. Allison brought this up. Yep.
This is Pirates meets Friends meets Roller Coasters.
It's just fun to get stuff in Azure. It's fun to say Azure.
And they have several other games here. We've got like a carnival game over to the right, as well as giant swings. The swing carousel. So you get a lot with this one, and lots of hangy downy, clothy pieces. Yeah. I'm not sure I ever bought this one, but I probably should have. Some of the best pirate sails we've seen. They're pretty cool. Brickhead Brad says, where the Nightmare King drives, the boat is not big enough. And I could, as soon as I said that in question, I could see this giant figure with all this accoutrement sitting in a captain's cabin, above the captain's cabin. Yeah. Not really looking like he fit even in that picture. So I just didn't want to ramble about it. Now I have. So Elson also says this set is definitely a Paradisa reminder. Yes, a throwback, a nostalgia trigger to Paradisa. 100%. Yeah. Agreed. And this one, the pirate ship looks like a facade, but that's what it's supposed to look like. So it's a roller coaster. Totally cute and adorable. Ding dong. Ding dong, a doorbell. I like the little octopus in the back too. The ice cream stand. It's all cute. Very much so. Brickhead Brad says that the Pirate King or whatever in that dream set has a rubber cape, and it won't fit if you try to put him in there. Man, that's a pain in the ass. VMAC Tech says like Metalbeard on the Sea Cow. Yeah, I didn't put Metalbeard in here only because like the Lego movie things were kind of like what you're talking about with the Time Cruisers thing we looked at, where they were just trying to slap in all this stuff like, oh, dad is rigid and only builds city builds, kid builds all these crazy, beautiful, genius ideas. I'm kind of like, all right. Yeah. Either way, he had too much accoutrement to fit where he was supposed to go. Yeah. All right. So here we go. What's next? This one. This, like what? Yeah. Like what? Do you remember this one? 100%. This of course is when they tried to mash up Darth Sock. Yes. With pirates. Yes. And they came up with this one, and this one confused me. This is definitely like what's with the wheels on the sides?
What's with the towers with Boba Fett and stormtroopers and random green alien and yeah, what were they supposed to be driving through? Some sort of like obstacle course where
I don't
people
know.
were rising up and down on elevator columns? Like Jesse brought up last week, they never let elevators elevate. Yet with this, what were we supposed to think they were?
And look at all these. It feels like it has like 6 modes of propulsion. It's got wheels. It looks like it's hovering above the water. So it must have some sort of like power in that regard. But it also has wind power in the sails.
Mm-hmm.
This one was very confused. I would
Yes.
say not
Well,
the best match.
Especially by scale. I count 10 scales at minimum.
Yeah.
Brickhead Brad likes it.
Makes
Alternate
sense.
candidate says, yeah, you have to put them at an angle, only using one stud to make them fit. A sacrifice he's willing to make for the awesome cape.
There.
Yeah, but how does he steer? He's got to like lean and steer. That's not comfortable for him. That's very selfish of you, Ralph. Brickhead Brad says, is that correct, Boba?
Is that the correct Boba? I have no idea if that's the right one from this.
Thank you.
From this line. He might be some pirate mashup. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look this up. 6409 Paradisa. Here I am.
That's the reference to the Friends one, so we'll have to get a look at that one. I
And
did
Darth-
like the logo on the sails, though. It kind of looks like a
sails are
whacked out bird of some sort.
The sails are definitely baller. It's like they were trying to make the Rebel logo, but failed a bit and made it more evil. Darth Sock seems like he's in like a dark side rage mode here.
A little bit with those dark eyes, and he's got the the ventilator on. Yeah, he doesn't have his normal cute appearance on this one. This one feels a little bit like they went extra dark with it.
This must have been after he was thrown into the lava pit.
Could have been. I didn't know it was the lava pit. I thought they put him into the extra high spin cycle on the dryer. But
You'd think so, but like Star Wars just kind of repeats the same story again and again.
yeah. So let's see, what else did we have out here?
Oh, nice.
Oh, this one.
Like what?
Yeah, like they were just like, hey, botanicals are hot, but let's smash some pirates into this.
What's like Bro Tentacles Pirates?
Yeah. The
nice.
palm tree I find very confusing. Both the palm trees.
VMAC Deck likes the fact that they stuck to the cannon and they got 2 stormtroopers missing each other at point blank.
Yeah, I don't know what
Fair
they're
enough.
doing. Like this guy, the guy down here in the lower right, looks like he's throwing a laser bolt. Doesn't even have a weapon.
Weird set, man. Weird set. Brickdead builds.
Very weird.
This reminds him of the Disney's Light Parade.
Yeah, I could see that. So here it is.
I did buy this for the parts pack, by the way, because dang, this is everything I want. But I was like what?
Yeah, like what?
What are they trying to do here?
And again, they have the ship not actually in the water. It's like on a beach. Like, what's up with that?
Allison Roberts asked this, and help me out because this is one of those points where I got a comment. I don't necessarily understand what's being asked. Anything with Hidden Side or Duplo?
I assume that's like a pirate mashup, and they have because they did like Jake the Pirate with Duplo, I think.
They did.
And Hidden Side they did a lighthouse.
They did the shrimp boat.
They did the shrimp boat. I'm not sure they did a direct pirate build.
Pirates for an Herbal Essence commercial. Dear dry hair.
Yeah,
do you think I didn't have a pirate ship full of moisture for you?
You're
See you on the shore. Botanical pirate
your
ship
treasure. Botanical Lego ship
is kind of fire, says alternate candidate.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
This is much better than the stupid Armada ones they came up with at the very end.
Again, Ben, what do you notice about these palm trees?
Well, a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
One with the palm trees, they've got giant coconuts. I'm gonna say
100%. Yes.
And normally a palm tree sort of has one big continuous trunk.
Yes.
It's got some weird
Dr. Seuss vibes.
Yes, it gives me
The
but what it
Lorax.
gives me more than anything is this. It looks like Sideshow Bob. Look at the hair from the leaves, the big
Yes.
old eyes, and it kind of looks like it has a mouth underneath there and like a long neck, like Sideshow Bob.
Good call. Good call.
I'm getting Sideshow Bob from both of those palm trees.
This is the Lorax wanting to save Sideshow Bob, also meeting the fact that we don't have palm trees near this good in the Animal Crossing sets. You know I had to say it.
Yeah,
I know. You're
she
killing
agrees.
me.
Sideshow Bob.
You had that one ready. Good for you. Also looks
Not
like
gonna lie. Yeah, take those torso prints for sure. Those are good torsos. And this
you know
cutlass. Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? The shrunken head guy from Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting a
Yeah,
little
the
more
Shinto.
Sideshow Bob, but I could see that too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. No. You killed it with that.
Yeah.
You are more
No,
correct than me
I
for
gotcha.
sure.
What about this guy who's just got the flower for a face down here?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I have no what for that whatsoever.
Yeah, this is a like what, but it's kind of between like what and like what, you know?
Yeah, I bought it, like 2 of them, full price
Yeah.
Jones, day one. If I can,
As soon as you said Sideshow Bob, you leaped out. Damn you, Ben. I just saw
Just
Flower
happened.
Face. Yeah, look at that guy.
real quick, this is what Allison was saying. The pirate French coaster.
We got like the spinning game over there on the side.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the vibe, I think, from the
100%. I get it.
roulette wheel.
I agree. This was a very small
Thing.
flash in the pan. Paradisa's fun park theme. I think it only lasted 1 year.
Yeah. Let's see what else they came up with. Oh yes. How could we forget the Sonic Pirate mashup?
Oh God. Interesting.
Mhm.
I love this. I have
Yeah,
no what for this whatsoever.
It's finally on water, but now it has like a ladder into the water. Maybe it's that part I don't get. Again, it has giant wheels on the side. Also, tons of go-karts around the thing. I don't know why.
It's a scale problem. It's insane. Why is it always 10 different scales? You found a bunch of sets where they
Yeah,
made
nope,
giant
campfire.
captains.
Yes.
If you look closely, there's one inside the captain's cabin, just like the family that loves to build these,
hmm
that has a campfire inside their tent.
I think there is. If you look at those windows up there.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Also, I like that on the side it kind of says feed and super sped up above the captain's cabin.
That's
Don't
how
know how they got that on there.
that's how fast the ship can go.
Up on the front, it also looks like it probably said speed, but the letters are a bit obscured by the palm tree.
It's like feed is really fast speed, so feed, and super sped is it's so fast that you think it
Yeah.
already sped by, but it's still moving. Yeah,
It's going so fast, it's blurry. I like the lightning bolt on the sail.
obviously.
There's also some crazy wheels up on the mast for no good reason at all.
Why wouldn't they be there?
I am not sure. But this one was pretty crazy too. Let's see here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this again has. I'm not sure how I feel about the blue stuff coming off the masts though. Like, is that supposed to represent like the wind going past?
I'm not sure.
I'm not really sure either, and that's kind of what bummed me out about this one a little bit. I did have one more that I found, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a little creepy.
Oh no. Let me see it.
You ready for it?
I am.
Here it is.
Okay. I gotta admit, I've got a big old what about this because I can't even necessarily immediately define what I see happening here. I can't connect it to any of our jokes, any of the stuff that we found on Stud Sidious's phone. If I was to guess,
Mhm.
I would be at a loss. It's like Viking bunnies. And Winnie the Pooh
Yeah,
and Jack
it's-
Skellington. What's happening here? Is it Fun Hole?
No, it's almost like somebody asked ChatGPT to create a mashup of Fabuland and Pirates.
Oh, and had no idea what to do from there.
And then when it didn't make any sense, he asked it to be gorier. And then when that didn't turn out good results, he followed it up by asking it to enhance the Fabuland vibes, and this is what we got.
Now it makes perfect sense. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, now I get it. So yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm. The previous version was very cute, very cutesy. This version less cutesy and more nightmare fuel, I guess.
Well, yeah, the bunny heads on the top of all the masts seem like. Well, if there weren't so many bunnies, I think maybe I would. Yeah, this is definitely like nightmares. Not dreaming, but nightmares. I will have nightmares about this because if you think this is supposed to be Fabuland,
I know,
tearing apart my childhood psyche here. But yeah, no, I could see it.
I don't mean to ruin your life.
If they do any re-release of Fabuland, I'm buying it. So I'm super excited that you found this. I didn't know it existed. That is Ding Dong a Doorbell.
So here was the first attempt.
Oh my god!
I didn't think this had enough piratiness. It's super cute.
I love that you were trying to make a logo over off to the right there.
Yes,
got it once. Got it once very well.
I did, and I do actually have it in the slideshow, but it's higher up. So, but yeah, this was cute. And I said, that's not like what I was going for. I was thinking something a little more scary and gory. And so then it said, oh, well, if you want Fabuland that's scary and gory, what you want is this.
Sometimes I have to.
I said, that's a little too far.
I love that. I'm sorry. Interesting to me.
It is awesome.
I don't see anthropomorphic animals in there,
There's
though.
zero Fabuland in it. No.
Zero. It's just gory and scary. Well, there's no gore in it. Well, there's something visceral happening on the side of the ship. Does the ship have a mouth?
Yes.
On the
yes,
port
it does.
stern.
Yes, it
okay.
does.
Yeah. Ooh,
how
about that?
I like the pirate house over here
stern?
to the right.
I do as well.
And everything about this was cute, or I shouldn't say cute. It was brilliant, but it was no Fabuland. There was no Fabuland tie-in at all.
You're wrong, sir. Ding Dong a Doorbell here. Yeah, no, this is a happy medium, I guess. I don't mind that pirate village off to the back. It's just like sometimes you ask ChatGPT for something that you want to, you have an image in your head, and it's just like, what if we took that image and like ran it through like 10 different Mad Libs and shoved all of it into one, and you're like, wow, there's a ton happening here.
Yeah. So in this one, it felt closer to Fabuland Pirate, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
I'd
goofy
buy it.
enough.
I would buy this.
Yeah.
Wasn't goofy enough.
It wasn't like. It didn't cross the line into being absurd.
Let me ask you a question then.
Pirates are doing, piratey things.
So if it wasn't goofy enough for you,
yeah.
Why did you ask for gore and not goof? Well, you can't ask it for goof, by the way. If you ask it to be goofier, it thinks you want. I tried silly instead. It doesn't like silly either. Yeah. And I don't think silly is patented by Disney.
It told me straight up that asking for more gore might violate the terms of service, but it still did it.
You're like, ask them to be stabbing each other in a funny, friendly manner, and it works.
Yeah, I guess my problem was that if you're going to cross Pirates and Fabuland, this was too happy-go-lucky for it to be as stupid as I wanted it to be.
Sir.
So this is far stupider and more menacing.
I definitely like it.
With the creepy heads on the masks in particular.
I do find that hard. If I ask it for a Duplo theme, it doesn't really know what that is. And so I have to like shove in my own Duplo figures. And so for this, you probably should have had to like try to Photoshop in some Fabuland figures which would have been a dead giveaway.
Like this one, for example, they like, you can't tell it to produce Sonic the Hedgehog.
But it did. How'd you do that?
A blue anthropomorphic hedgehog
that runs really fast.
Exactly what you're asking for.
I know. Like last week when I did the tertiary themes, and it was asking me for I was asking it for mountain, like a troll mine that mined heart crystals. It was like, well, here's literally the IP property of trolls. And I was like, no, I mean just like giant mountain trolls. And they're like, here's a giant version of the IP property of trolls.
Okay.
Flower Face is Brickhead Brad's favorite. Allison says the Fabuland show had hills in the background. Yes, it did. I guess that was on the other side of this. Yes. Brick Dad Build says sails look almost like bunny arms. I know. I was thinking the same thing. So it looks like there's bunnies impaled on the masts.
Yes,
but they're wearing the Dread Pirate Roberts. They have like the costume on.
They're like, they're baring those teeth. They are creepy as all get out.
They look very happy to have been impaled. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, and I like the architecture on the goofy pirate thing on the side, though.
The left side or right side?
The left side ones look like they could be in one piece because they almost have like an Asian flair architecture to them.
Yeah, steampunk.
I don't mind it.
Viking, steampunk, Viking mashup pirates.
Viking steampunk in either. Yeah, I'd say it's more like Viking steampunk in Singapore. That's what it feels like. I don't.
Good
know.
point. Very good point. So
that's what I found. Like what?
My presentation is really long, and we only have 45 minutes left. Oh. So I think the most appropriate thing to do would be to take a bathroom break. And so I'm going to play this one because it's our newest.
Remember that time Ben brought Miles in? Didn't tell him nothing, it's just about your chagrin.
You know what chagrin means?
I forgot.
Okay, chagrin means like something that embarrasses you. What do I do more than anything else that embarrasses and angers you?
Miles looks suspicious as he should have been. You just can't trust that troll Daddy Ben. Miles, check out my fit. Daddy Ben grins. Got that Sigma 5, bro. Your daddy's got the wrist. Miles throws an elbow, wants to hide under a rock. Stop, he laughed, just go build a mock. Let him cook. Daddy Ben went on. Check out the wrist of the fit he's got on. Do all these words mean cool? The trolling badass. No, Miles answered this chagrin was a trap. Daddy Ben shrugs. Then what do they mean? Knock it off, Dad. This just isn't your scene.
Miles, you got the fit on today.
Ah.
Are you gonna say skibbity? Are you gonna say
Sigma?
Daddy Ben's so Ohio, he thinks he's got the wrist. Every time he shifts me, I roll my eyes and cringe. He says whatever he wants, which I guess is kinda stigma. But he's being a dork and I just don't need this stigma. Why would Ben do this? It just isn't nice. Maybe he got some terrible advice. Let this be a lesson. Avoid these Scorpio plotters. Never feed the troll. And you can't trust the honor.
But he thinks that I'm not allowed to know. Like, let him cook. He says I can't know what that means. He says cat.
No, I said mom can't.
Oh, mom can't know what that means.
Mom doesn't know what that means. I don't know how to explain it.
Right. I can't talk about his fit, his clothes that he's wearing. I can't ship him with anybody. These are things that I can't do. Right.
Daddy Ben is so Ohio, he thinks he's got the wrist. Every time he shifts me, I roll my eyes and cringe. He says whatever he wants, which I guess is kind of stigma. But he's being a dork and I just don't need this stigma. Daddy Ben is so Ohio. Hey, hey, Daddy Ben is so Ohio. Hey, hey, Daddy Ben is so Ohio.
right. Thank you for indulging my overactive bladder. Let's move on because we're running out of time. So, Lego Idea Books, and feel free to say like what are interesting for every slide I bring up. But this was the first one I had. I picked up a couple afterwards from like used bookstores or from friends or somewhere that were earlier. But this was the first one that had minifigures in it, and this was the story of Mary and Bill. So the front and back led together, and I spent way too much time fascinated with that. That was the early graphic designer in me. The fact that they had, thought about that, like the entire cover is a spread. But they did all three themes that were out at the time. They did castle space and town. And they had stickers in this set as well. And these were unique minifigures. This is Mary and Bill, and it followed their story throughout. And those torso prints are actually stickers. This is the first time I saw half timbered builds in Lego, and my life has never been the same since. Tried to repeat that as often as I could. And since this was released in Europe and the States, there were still sets back then that were released in Europe that weren't released in the States. So we didn't have blue roof tiles, or roof slopes. And so I was rather annoyed that I couldn't build this the way some of these were in the catalog. But it told the story of Mary and Bill, and this is them moving into they're moving into a house, so they're buying furniture from a furniture store.
You just have a lamppost pushed up against the truck.
I believe it's just a floor lamp.
Okay.
And a piano and a curio cabinet or a hutch or whatever you want to call this, a coffee maker. That was really inspiring to me because there weren't a lot of interiors in Lego at the time.
That is one hell of a floor lamp.
That is one hell of a floor lamp. It does look like a lamppost, but it is supposed to be a floor lamp because think of how many molds they had at the time. This is like 1981 or something like that.
I mean, I get it. It's just also
Yeah, it just got a grunfluence on it. Like,
yeah. Did they have the sticker on the back of the two guys moving the couch? Was that a sticker in the book?
So the guy moving the couch is Bill.
I'm talking about on the back of the truck. They have two guys holding a couch.
I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct. That was the sticker in the book. Okay. And so, this was 50 years ago. And so this is like the little town that they lived in.
Okay.
Yep. And their house was set on fire.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Mary and Bill.
This is the entire story. So they move into a new house, and this is kind of all that they show you different things that they move to a new neighborhood, and they've got all this other stuff going. But after their house burns down, for some reason they go to the circus.
The circus comes to town. All right.
And so all these stickers were in there as well. You can these flags, I believe. I don't remember if the flags were or not, but these flags were available in sets. The clown flag, the clown sign. There was enough to do this. The TV2 sticker, building elephants was like, brick built animals was the thing back then. They had the yellow castle, so they had the brick built horses. And this was inspiring to me because it was like they didn't have a circus set. Like there's a camel. Look, there's a camel in a trailer back there. The elephants were a lot of fun. It's like the ringmaster wore a knight's helmet for some reason.
Yeah. It's closest thing to a top hat, I guess.
All right. So Brick Dad Built says, I just turned 50 last week. I didn't need the reminder. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to bring up the number. And then they went to the movies, of course.
Oh, adorable.
So these were also custom stickers. And it was like, I think I tried to build this like 1,000 times because it was a movie theater and they had like, of course, the gate that you have to enter through. Yep. The sticker was definitely for that. You can use it probably for other things too. I think they used it in some of the space builds, like the monitor in the space station, different ways to use the stickers. And then, of course, after they left the sci-fi movie, they just jumped on the spaceship and went to space.
Why wouldn't they?
I know, right? And so here's like the classic space, 1980, when these all came out, 1980, 1981. I don't remember exactly when, but they gave a lot of different ideas from the sets you can build back then. It's a very classic. So like this is basically the Galaxy Explorer.
Yeah, close to. They had Galaxy Explorer was probably the most iconic, but they had like 6 ships with that same shape.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially in different sizes. They had like small, medium, and large. And the large one, the Galaxy Explorer, is the one everyone remembers.
And I kind of feel like this isn't too far off of that.
It's not. It's close in scale.
It's like here's an idea to build with your Galaxy Explorer that's just a little bit
slightly smaller.
Smaller, exactly. Yep. Brickhead Brad says every car is a convertible. Yes.
He needs to be able to get everyone out. Yeah.
Let's check this out because he's not wrong.
Yep.
Yep, the taxi is a convertible.
Yep.
The trucks are convertibles.
Yep. The tractor's a
Tractor.
convertible.
The box truck, the ambulance, the police car, the fire chief's car, their car. Yeah. Which they can own a convertible. They seem to be doing pretty well for themselves. So they go to space. They eventually build a house. They even got a little robot there. You see a brick put on a minifig torso as an alien or a robot. Who knows?
The guns on top of the heads and the bricks on top of the heads. That's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but these are new ideas. You can do this yourself.
Get it? I'm
It's
just also
funsies.
kind of creeped out by it.
Use your imagination. It definitely never rains in Lego City.
Probably not. I don't mind the ones that where the brick or anything goes all the way down to the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
but the ones where it doesn't and there's like a gap, I don't know why I find that weird. I mean, we have necks. Why should I be upset that they don't? Or they do too, but it's just odd.
Well, and that must have been the only other, and I don't think they would ever do this in an official set because like the minifig, like the bar on the minifig torso doesn't necessarily come off easily if you put these two things together, which I found out as a kid.
Yeah.
Brickhead Bread asked, what do they do to afford a second home on the moon? I don't know. They brought all their Lego with them and they could just build it. This is how life goes when you're Mary and Bill. Then of course, when they took their Galaxy Explorer back to Earth, they accidentally traveled back in time and they went to this beautiful castle area.
Maybe this is a foreign planet or alien planet. I can only assume that because the castle's fucking yellow.
Well, that looks all right to me. What's wrong with the yellow castle, Ben? It's classic and nostalgic. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, and then they could do other things in medieval times that are all yellow, which makes sense, right? The yellow tent.
Tent's yellow. Yep.
The joust railings are also yellow. It's pretty, right?
Something.
They had instructions in this book as well. I didn't remember this until I looked back and found
a yellow house. Because why wouldn't your medieval house also be yellow like the castle?
No, I think it's a blacksmith shop.
Mm-hmm. Why would it also be yellow?
Brickhead Build says they had good homeowners insurance back in the 80s. They gave their ancestors the almanac. Oh, that's what happened.
This is how they afforded all this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you notice anything about this this Yellow Castle blacksmith shop?
Well,
got a brick built goat here.
Yeah, and some chickens.
What are these? Chickens. Yeah, right. These are chickens. These are the molds that they had to work with back then. Anything else you notice here?
No.
No.
What
about this guy?
He's got a wolf pack torso.
Isn't that crazy?
They didn't have wolf pack yet.
Did you know that the original wolf pack figure is from 1981?
Wow, that's cool.
I was also super
Is that a
confused
sticker
by this.
from that book?
I don't think so.
Has to be, doesn't it?
I looked back. The original, so there were 3 sets in the original castle line. There was the Yellow Castle, and then like the Knights Brigade or something like that, and then the jousting set or whatever.
Yep.
But do you know what? The first set that ever had a Wolfpack figure in it was the Yellow Castle. Look at that. There he is.
He's hiding in the background.
There he is.
Behind
Sneak attack.
Piece of lettuce.
a giant artichoke.
I don't get that.
I don't either, but that's where he hid. I mean, he has the wisdom of the wolves.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's where Wolfpack actually originated, was in this set. I had no idea. It didn't show up on Bricklink either.
That seems like nonsense to me, but I don't know.
He hides so well behind that lettuce that Bricklink didn't even know he was in the set. Do you know that they are... so when I realized that Wolfpack... that the Yellow Castle was the father of the Wolfpack, I looked up the information on Stud's phone. You know what? They're coming out with an icon set for the Yellow Castle. They're doing a re-release of the Yellow Castle.
Is that so?
Do you want to see it?
I do. I absolutely
you do? I'm surprised you want to see it.
Why wouldn't I?
Look how fun that is. Look how many interesting things happen in this set.
It certainly is. The Wolfpack
It's-
guy makes a return.
Yes, of course,
Um,
because he originated in the original Yellow Castle. Why wouldn't they put the Wolfpack figure in there?
I don't know. I'm amazed by this revelation. This feels very much like a sand castle, but it's built on grass.
Correct. Because this is what castles look like.
It has to be the case. I do like the updated horse. I think that's pretty cool.
I like that as well. Yep. Trees. I like the trees. They did like hexagonal slopes somehow.
Yeah, those do look interesting.
Who do you think they designed the set for?
Well, definitely not for me, because of my hatred of Yellow Castle.
Okay.
But I would say that this is definitely for the nostalgia crowd who don't know that Yellow Castle sucks. I'm going to say it's bearded men in their 50s who still think Yellow Castle is awesome. I was dang close.
How did you know? Well, the first one, the guy was definitely in his 50s. When I asked him to make him more excited, he got a little younger.
Icon set, yeah!
Look at this Lego room.
He needs to clean up a little bit.
Well,
I mean, my Lego room's messy, as you can see, but he needs to clean up a little.
It's a lifestyle studio. He's got the poster of the original Yellow Castle instructions here on his wall. He's obviously a huge fan of Lego history. He loves that Wolfpack figure that originally came in that set.
Even way back there. It's so impressive.
Brickdad Builds remembers there were 2 versions of Wolfpack figures in 1980 with different legs. So Brickhead Bread says that was turf. Oh, yeah. AstroTurf he's hiding behind. It just rolled up at the back. Brickhead Builds
still don't get that piece of lettuce back there.
Wants you to bite him. Brickhead Brad says he needs to get out more. No, he's doing just fine. I think his basement flooded, to be honest. All right, so that's enough from that one. This was like the next one that had a big impact on me.
Yeah, 200.
Also from the 80s, but there was a lot more intricate stuff in this one. Started out with, the basic stuff, and like these doors were only available in one set, which I actually believe was the Yellow Castle. But you got here. Look, here's a container crane. Here's a loading dock. It's kind of like here's a horse pulling a buggy, but it looks more like a mastodon or like a.
That thing is massive, and I like how it's blue with a red tail.
It's freaking blue. Yeah. Who knows?
That's
Hey, you can
Babe
imagine
the Blue Ox. That's what that is.
That is definitely Babe the Blue Ox. I looked at this book so often. This was garbage even to me at the time. This is like definitely more like the basic line. And then this is what I was talking to you about, Ben. This overpass piece. What on earth is this?
Yes. What? Like what?
Like what?
So those road plate overpass pieces weren't US, right? Isn't that the deal you were telling me?
I have never found them anywhere in anything. I have no idea what they are.
Is it just like road plates? Because I think they are base plates of some sort, and they're just sitting on top of some sort of constructed build. I don't know.
How do you get off of that highway? Where's the off ramp? First of all, that's my big problem with it.
It's just a little snippet. How do we know?
Just flip off the side.
Yeah.
Just roll those giant trucks. And does the thing in the center look like a semi?
Yeah, it looks like some sort of bullet semi.
Right. But there's also a windshield on the front of the trailer.
There's like a double windshield, yeah.
It's a Yellow Castle ship.
Yeah, okay, a little bit.
But seriously, where on earth did that base plate come from? I'm still confused. If anybody knows if this ever existed, Brickhead Brad says that boat is fire. Let's take another look and see if we agree.
I mean,
it's a good tugboat, actually, for the time.
Got the tires on the side to keep it from bumping into the dock. And by dock, I mean just the gray bricks that are built up across the side of the silver river that it's floating down.
The mirrored river. Yes, exactly. I will admit to having made that stack of pallets several times in my Lego city. Like, that's a great idea. A stack of pallets. Friday Night Bricks is here. Thank you for joining us tonight, Reed. Says, I have some of the construction rams and plates, but the lines don't match. And our DBG, dark bluish gray. Yeah, this is way before that. That's Rodimus Prime.
Rodimus Prime. It's
right
he's
here.
like a hot
It
rod
looks like a hot rod semi truck
thing, and it is like, yeah, I don't know why there's an extra windscreen on the trailer.
Lots of confusing stuff here. Like what? Friday Night Bricks is planning on using the Rams for the new box racers.
Okay.
I'm sure you are. That's a great piece. So yeah, fun times. Again, hold on real quick here. This is how you ride in a taxi behind each other. But at least not everything's a convertible this time.
True.
So this is probably one of the pages I used the most. I used those stickers. I made a barbershop. I probably made this exact thing as close as I could with the pieces that I had. The digger thing is cool. Brickhead Bread. What? Brickhead Brad says the digger thing. Yes, actually, I 100% agree with that.
Loader.
See that wire, that curly wire coming out of the back?
Mhm.
That's because it's motorized with the battery box that you can get at the time, which was it was like a 6x8 or a 6x10 or something like that, or an 8x10, because it took like 3C batteries, and then you had to like wire it through. Most of them like tried to hide the battery boxes, like the container on a truck on a semi. But this one
do that here.
They just put it off screen. Yeah, that is cool. That is a cool build though, especially again for the time. I don't know where they got those dark blue transparent slopes for the windshield, but this was very inspiring to me. If you find a picture of me, 7 years old,
here's my version of that front loader.
Bring it up.
I built so as part of Project M, when my son was into construction trucks. This, of course, is with newer pieces. So
a lot of this reminded me of the construction trucks. There we go.
Here it is.
That's beautiful.
So it's kind of got the same mechanism where the front wheels and the back wheels, there's a hinge in the middle of it, because that's the way those trucks are built. So there you can see it. So that's what they were going for with those early pieces. But very much a similar vibe, but with a much smaller palette. Piece palette, I guess that's what we'll call it.
So back when I was this age, like 7 and 9, I would look at this and like try to like build what I could, but like come up with my own ideas. And like there weren't that many windows available in sets, at least not in these colors. And like kind of trying, like just dreaming of having these pieces at the time. Spent a lot of time staring at this.
I like the megaphone as the hair dryer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's got a similar shape.
I do like the curtains. I do. I like the way they use the curtains on things. I don't know why on the skylight they hang down and on this window they hang up for whatever reason, but they do. There you go. And these shutters, like there weren't really any sets in the States that came in yellow in these, but they might have been like the more basic sets from like 5-6 years before. They didn't seem afraid of using parts that weren't being currently produced, which is part of the time cruisery thing we saw from the one that, in the 90s that you brought up, Ben, the longer landscape oriented one. So I was really inspired by this, especially since it looked more like a city, like what I was used to in Chicago. Like this to me looked like a brownstone. I was like, yeah, I can do that too. Now that I see instructions for it and the upside down transparent minifigure head as a lamppost, etc. So then they had like these great city spreads.
Oh, I see something in the city spread. I see a couple. I see several things in the city spread.
Where? What do you see? I'm sorry.
Well, I would like
the motorcycle, the clothing shop, but that was almost exactly the motorcycle shop. I kind of caught that at the time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in here that I'm seeing that I did not know were from this era. Every time I catch something new, I have to pause.
It's like a Where's Waldo, isn't it?
Yeah, ST Pro in particular got me.
Yeah, who did it?
Yes.
Oh, he is in there. That's weird. Standing in the alley like a creep.
Yeah, I also see we've got a couple of bros.
Yep. There's
one's got an eggplant, one's got a sandwich.
I think that's one of the Botanical Bros with the laughing at the eggplant, and then we've got Joe Buttface from Gonzo Themes. Copper Valor came in right when I said Joe Buttface. Do we have Lego train sets? I do have several.
I have a couple.
Are you looking for some? Because we have advice on where to find some. What's the deal? Explain why you're asking.
Is that Chucky? Yeah.
Where's Chucky?
I'm not sure that is Chucky. Because my understanding is that is just some sort of super duper adorable doll that you give to your toddler.
Look at this adorable Happy Doll set I found on Amazon. Believe it or not, it's made of Legos. He comes with a little knife like he's an inspiring baker. Isn't that cute? I don't know why he does this at night, but it's cute, am I right? I gave this adorable Lego doll set to my toddler. See how much he loves it. I can't believe I'd never heard of this cute Lego set before. There should be commercials.
I mean, there were basically commercials way back here because it was in the book.
Oh, the scene we were showing would be great for a train. Good call.
Yeah, I also see an apocalypus guy and an otter.
And yes, there are both of those in there. Yeah, of course. It was 1981, so come on.
Minnie's
Otterworld was definitely around.
Off,
Minnie's had his on, I think, in that picture.
Yeah, you can't see the pop off yet.
Yeah. I think that was a feature that came out in like the 90s.
I'm a little less ST Pro, of course. I don't know what the guy behind the clothing store is, the one who's not the face.
No, of course you don't, because he's in disguise.
Okay. And then of course
I think he's wearing a White Sox cap.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. All right. So I do know who that is now. And then we've got the cake house balloon animal unicorn princess party land.
Oh, that is there. So ST what was that? It was the whatever brand had all the U.S. national landmarks in the back.
Yeah.
It was like something about
one of the very first ones we ran into.
Yeah, the very first, actually. Yeah, I guess they stole the idea from Lego originally. I was in this idea book. Yeah, I think you caught them all.
We should have known.
As far as I know, yeah. Anyway, so off of that spread, they went into space. They did some builds that were very 1980s space.
Yep.
They built some intriguing machines that I'm not sure exactly what they were supposed to do. They dug up sprockets and they put rockets in their trunk.
Yeah.
They towed
and put up rockets.
They towed rovers. This was like the initial year of the rover.
Mm-hmm.
They built robots that picked people up.
Robots. Yeah.
Look how fun these are.
He looks mad. Look at those red eyes.
But he looks cute and happy though. He's like, you look like my eyes. Let's be friends. I think is what's happening. And
that's what he's saying.
They're all filming this with their cameras.
You nailed it.
I think they found friendly robots on this planet.
Facing cameras.
And they had walkers. This was like the original idea for the walkers. Their legs didn't move, by the way.
Yeah, this was before they had selfie sticks. You had to hold the camera with one arm right in your face like that.
Exactly what was happening, for sure.
Yeah.
And then they had some castle builds that look extremely familiar to what was actually out at the time, but just like kind of like mashed up together.
Yeah. That one there looks a lot like Knight's Castle, which I will say I am familiar with.
And the battering ram.
Yes, which I'm eventually going to be doing some work with. But here was Knight's Castle 2024 version.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so you can see we've come a ways.
You should show that on the stream sometime. I'm kidding. Sorry.
Totally should. It's got that same red door action that they were
very much so
a fan of.
Because it was stone. That was brick. Gray was stone, and red was brick, and yellow was stone initially. But they graduated by this point. These giant castle panels. Mm-hmm. And let's see what else did I like from this. Again, we got some half timbered things. I was really inspired by this stuff.
Yeah.
They built this really cool cart. I'm pretty sure I copied that almost exactly because I had all the pieces because these were all available in sets at the time.
That's better than the Wolfpack one because it's not all blue.
100%. 100%. And this is when they started getting into these exciting spreads, which they did better in the next iteration of the idea book. But this is what we had at the time.
This one's really good. This spread
is fantastic.
In particular.
Oh, 100%.
I like the trebuchets and the windmill, and there's lots of good stuff in this.
Well, I what I particularly liked is it finally like clued me in to what a castle should look like, and that it was like an armed fortress for a village, for like a commerce center.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's where they put their horseshoes on. Like that was my first like clue.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what are all these other buildings? Oh, there's a blacksmith. Oh, there's, the saddle maker. There's, the spear maker. There's everything else. I was like, oh, that's what castles do.
Yep.
As much as we
Have
were
the
into
walls,
history and architecture. Yeah.
You can have the fortress and then you can have the castle.
I never associated Lego with like the history we were learning through our family's geekiness with being interested in this sort of thing. So battering ram on wheels.
Yes, there you go.
Smaller one. Yep.
Carrying that one, that's more realistic than most of the other ones we've got.
This inspired me the most because we had seen something that taught how medieval windmills turned not only the windmill itself, but like that there was a housing. Like I saw some movie in 3rd grade that explained this. There was the same movie I saw that explained how castle towers were poop towers, and like took like the plumbing down to the moat. And I was like, oh, they made one out of Lego. I need to know how to make this. Tried like crazy to copy that.
Yeah.
Never succeeded. But like this is an inspiration to me.
There's
this is my original mock building. Ooh, nice.
There it is. You should show this one on stream sometime too.
Yeah, maybe.
Think
about it.
This one, the very top, you can turn into the wind. So that's an important aspect of the windmill. These are the ones in the ones in this thing here. It's kind of this classic version where it was a little square, but you could still pick the whole thing up and rotate it into the wind.
This was late 80s. Yeah, and that's what, to see it built in Lego, even in the idea book, I was like, why don't they do this in sets? And so this was kind of like opening up the idea to me, like, you can do it. And so, like, these idea books are really important to me because they were better than the Lego sets. So when they came out with a new one, I was almost more excited than what they would come out with actual sets. Chris Cummings says, I didn't have this idea book when I was young back then, but it would have changed my paradigm. And that's exactly what I was just explaining. It was definitely a paradigm where I was like, how do I do this without enough pieces? Because this was pre-internet, way pre-internet. And this is what they gave us for Space Mashup.
Yeah. Look at that. Castle Space.
Ugh.
Weird.
Burns my retinas.
Weird. Again, we've got the guy in the back with the megaphone blaster thing on his head.
Why wouldn't you?
Like what is that? I don't even get it.
It's a different way to play.
For sure.
And this window here in the center was available in exactly one set, the Exxon gas station, because they had a deal with Exxon. And I had exactly one of them. And I was like, I want to build this bridge. I called it an oasis because in Chicago we have oases that go over the road. And they have restaurants and gas stations in them. They're tearing them down. But they were built by not Samsonite. Anyway, that's I almost fell down a rabbit hole. Anyway,
are they going to leave the Belvedere one? That's like the only one I run into on the way to
Belvedere is there. The one south of the city on 294 is Danville is still there. And then there's one Belvedere. Yes, the north one is still there as well. Right. Until they have to expand the expressway and add more lanes, because that's the big problem is like the load bearing concrete for those. When they have to expand the lanes, they've got to tear that out and the entire thing would fall down. And your Auntie Anne's pretzels would be on the street. So this is the one that inspired you as well. This is the one that we both, this is our crossover idea book, the 260. They wrote you an entire letter about how Lego toys build imagination. And this is what this book is about.
Yes. And this was the big one for me because when I was a kid, I was all about pirates. And this was the first one that featured pirates. They were brand new at the time, and they were, ideally going to be an evergreen theme. They added so much new stuff. We've waxed nostalgic about pirates a number of times. They introduced face prints. They introduced minifig hooks on the hands. They introduced new legs.
Yes,
peg leg.
Expressions. It was the first time you saw anything else but a smiley face on a figure.
They were still smiley mostly, except the pirate with the big mustache. He didn't have a mouth.
They had beards and mustaches.
They had beards and mustaches and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Sideburns eventually. VMAC Tech says his first Popeyes experience was at an Oasis, which I don't know which one that was because I think you're a bit younger than me, because the only thing they had at Oasis when I was a kid was either Burger King or McDonald's, and most of them had the windows blocked so you couldn't look out at the traffic going underneath you for whatever reason. But there was one, the Danville one, had a Burger King with an indoor playground. And so that's no, there was no way to see outside. I wish there was a glass floor, because even now I'll sit in one and just like watch the traffic go underneath. I find it very cathartic. VMAC Tech says it was the one by the quarries. Oh, so that had a Popeyes eventually. Yeah, the one by the quarries is the Danville one. Anyway, so this kind of like totally jumped the shark, and well, not jump the shark. It kind of upped the level of like what they would do with these idea books. Like they went super creative. These are the great big spreads. This is garbage. This is like the basic stuff, but they were still trying to inspire all ages. So the earlier pages were like younger, more basic sets. There was no Duplo in them, but they had these like giant figures and dinosaurs, and like, look, a very blocky plane and kind of an airport
stuff. Yep.
And they did this, which was mini land scale figure, which I find interesting in retrospect.
Girl with the palm tree for the giant feather on the hat or whatever.
What else would you use at that
insane.
point?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But she's pushing the little prom around. I don't know how you want to say it. Just here in the States, it's a stroller.
Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. And then this was inspiring to me because these pieces were not available in the States at first. You had to get them through the mail order catalog. So to get those curved window pieces, and this is like pre-Paradisa. So there was a restaurant set that they only, again, it had wine glasses in it. So they wouldn't sell it in the States. But they went so much further with this when they did their city spreads, because they put it eventually. Oh, and they did. So these are this was almost exactly the set that was available. This racing truck. They did two different versions. That was basically two different sets together. They had the racing theme out at the time, so they had all these parts. But it was like, yeah, this is basically what's available in the stores, but like only slightly modified. But they were teaching you how to modify something and make it different, make it better, make it bigger, make it like make variations. I found this all very inspiring, and I was actually building vehicles at the time. And this right here, what's this, Ben? What's this piece?
That's the light and sound box.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here's the light and sound brick. Here's the sound brick. Here's the light brick. Trying to like teach you how to use that. This is the exact helicopter they had in like 70 sets at that time.
They've
just
definitely
different colors.
They've definitely gone hard away from something like this. They had metal pieces on various bricks to try to transfer the power across a plane of some variety.
Conductor pieces,
conductor pieces that they look like regular bricks, but they had metal underneath them and metal contacts built into the studs.
Inside the studs, exactly. Yeah, they've given up on that for sure. Yeah. I built the sailboat and the ski boat because we had like a boating family.
Yeah.
But this was the one here. This one, they took that restaurant set that was only available in Europe, and they put it on the El Dorado Fortress base.
Okay.
Like, it's an island restaurant. Do you know how inspired I was by this?
That's very cool.
Do you know what garbage this looks like if I brought this to a show now and like look at my mock and it was this?
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, why don't they sell this? I was like, there's a trellis on the second floor. There's a balcony over the ocean. Yep. There's a scuba diver bringing flowers to the chef. I don't know what's happening.
I love the skis the guy has. They're just plates.
They're just plates, exactly.
He's doing the one-legged ski move there. He's got his leg up in the air.
And how is he holding on to the
Oh yeah, it's one of those
pitchfork.
They had a bunch of hinge pieces.
It was a finger hinge with the
bar on it. And then the bar had a stud on the end of it too. It was very popular in the space sets.
Look at the rudder on the sailboat.
Yeah, that's those finger hinges. They were everywhere.
But that's not where a rudder typically goes.
Yeah, I mean,
which is fine. It was. I knew what it was.
What you got to do,
And I was inspired by it. Like
Glider's got the the motor, the engine in the back. I mean, that's not super common either, but it's it all works.
I would stare at this for hours. Absolute, like just days on end, just like, how can I do this? When can I get these pieces? Was the biggest thing. This spread, when I opened this up, I was like, what? I can never do this. I don't have the pieces, but this is beautiful. They have the instructions for this I found these spreads, by the way, on backoftheboxbuilds.com. They have instructions for these. If you really want to build these, you can learn how on backoftheboxbuilds.com. I should put that in the description. I should have done that when we started.
Yeah.
But this is when they had the horse bards already. Like they had, but like
So they had after the Black Falcon Fortress, because they have the piece over there on the side, and they have the yellow arch just like they did in the Black Falcon Fortress.
100%. But they're mixing it together with like the newer large doors from some of like the large wooden doors from some of the Dragon Knight sets or whatever they were.
Yeah, they got the Dragon Knights in the back there. You can see them.
It's halfway open, so you can't really see that's what it is. But they have one of the old Yellow Castle doors in there in black. In that yellow building in the center, like right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
On the second floor.
Yeah. So they're mixing together pieces. Like sometimes I feel like Lego, like once a piece has been retired, a mold has been retired, they pretend like it never existed. They have the pirate cage doors, like the pirate prison doors, which were originally Fabuland molds. In the back, see a forest man being thrown in prison there.
Yeah, so, this definitely has a subtone of the forest men are coming to bust that guy out.
It's like time cruisers for Lego fans. Like seeing all these pieces mixed together. They had the instructions for this double-decker boat down here, which I tried to build, didn't have the pieces, XYZ. But yeah, they had, like, as you were...
The first one they had, the sea serpent, they used spears as oars. Then when the pirates came out, they had actual oars. So now he's holding an actual oar.
Hey, Ben, to the left here. What's the word that comes to mind in this spot where I'm circling with my mouse?
I'm not sure I have a word for that, Mark, but if there was one, I think that it would probably be...
Peach, apple, pear,
something that starts with a P.
Pareidolia? Yeah.
Yeah,
pareidolia?
I think it's
yes. Pareidolia, seeing faces in inanimate objects. This has it hardcore, and that is a scary face. At the same time, that's a scary pareidolia. So Chris Cummings says there are also some Lego magazines on Internet Archive. Oh, I'll get into that someday. Dear Lord, I got that when I was a kid, and so they had instructions. Like this actually was in the last two books. It actually wasn't in the 6001, the Bill and Mary story. They just showed you them. They're like figured out, except for that one that had the Wolfpack figure in it. But yeah, they started doing this. As Ben said, there are beautiful MOCs behind this, but they cut off most of the page with the instructions. Like, show me the rest of this forestman's fortress, please.
Yes.
I want to see how this was built.
I want to see the rest of that. Yeah,
like I did it on the GBC stream where I was like looking on the camera, like, how do I see around this? Oh, you can't do that. But I was intrigued by what was there. So yeah, they did some Forest Man builds in this. They used this base plate, which was only in one set.
Yeah, it was a Forest set.
This great cart. And then
like the river crossing or something.
River Crossing, I think was the name of it. I almost died at the age of like, I don't know, 9, 10. No, I had to have been 11 or 12.
This one came out in 1990.
And look at what they did with the sails.
Mm-hmm. They actually put them up like they weren't coming down to the full mast, and then they also used the triangular one on the raft with the string holding it forward, which is realistic to some versions of how you would rig a sail.
And again, they used what we call now the crummy rampant pit plate, but what I called it at the time, the best piece Lego has ever produced, because it was so versatile and amazing that they had an island, a rocky island, where they made a mountain and they used it in a different way than they had in sets. Very, very inspiring to me at the time. Even this little pirate's raft down here, where they use the sail at an angle.
Yep.
This was a very popular build. When I first became aware of the Lego community on the internet, this was, for some reason, was a big one that people really liked to
Brickworld
recreate.
Sales, yeah.
Not as much as this one. This is basically the same as Saber Island.
Pretty close. It's not quite the same, but yeah, it's got a very similar feel. And of course, those base plates with the islands on them. There was this one, and then there was a bigger one that the island was more symmetrical that they also used. I've got a whole bunch of these things, and of course now they're covered in stuff. I never use the.
I gave mine to
printing
read
on them for anything.
I gave mine to read a couple years ago, because I will never use them, and they were taking up space. But this was another one that was big in well, first of all, it was it's the perfect Lego set. Why don't they produce this? But it inspired people. That was one of the first things I found in the Lego fan community online, was that people from my generation were definitely inspired by this. Oh, we're past 10. Damn it. I wonder how mad Matt Husband is right now. But this was a huge, huge inspiration for men of a certain age. And I don't think continues to be, but was for a long time after this idea book was released. And then there was this. Then they moved on to space, and I was like, all right. And Space Police is out. They still have monorail pieces. M-Tron's in there. Blacktron. Yep. Futron.
All the
mixed together.
Trons. Yep.
Really, really terrible. I don't think they ever really built a great monorail except for the airport shuttle. And they certainly didn't do it in the idea book.
Yeah, it was just a big loop. I loved when I saw this. I looked at this for a long time because I liked the landscaping. I don't know if this is just a sheet that's
I think it's
folded up on top of stuff or what it is, but
I think that's what it is.
yeah, I liked the Blacktron guy sneaking over the hill.
Yeah,
and the walkers coming in from the other side. So there was some cool stuff in this.
Mm-hmm.
The little cart, the little white one on the bottom right of the screen that's going over the sheet and has the suspension moving.
Mm-hmm.
Some cool stuff.
I do implore you to pull back, look at it now in a modern lens. Is this all garbage now? Yeah, maybe. Brickdad Build says that Ideas and Pirates Imperial build did inspire me to build. It has been my love. It had me, my love. I don't know. He loves classic pirate.
Yes, me too.
Here we go. It gave.
Yep.
It gave me my love of that. There we go. But yeah, we can pretty much agree that the monorail in the idea book was garbage.
Yeah, I don't think all of this is garbage, but they have always had problems. Lego has always had problems building space bases. It's
the
worst thing they've done.
Open air space base. This is just an idea of a frame. And this was also a garbage monorail. I don't even want to look at it twice.
Terrible. I would never want that thing.
Boo. Where's my barf banner? Yeah, this is terrible.
That would be straight up amazing if they could build something like this now that can hug the rail like that.
Let alone
doesn't rain in space. Yeah, you're right. Makes sense. No atmosphere.
Lego Team B loves identifying places where it does not rain.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cute and perfect. It makes me want to barf. And that's why I hated it, seeing it in this idea book.
There's no way you could build that anymore,
So they had they were promoting some of the themes that they had at the time. So they had M-Tron. Again, here's a space base or a space torture chamber, or what is happening over on the right? What is this thing in the center? This weird red thing that they seem to be capturing Futron people. I didn't realize they were enemies. A little skiff from the Blacktron people here.
Maybe they're not capturing him. Maybe they're rescuing him.
I found these instructions very inspiring.
Okay. This is the ostrich space speedboat with Darth Sock. This is the Darth Sock Pet Clinic boat.
Yeah, I think it was called the Darth Sock pet rescue boat.
Wow, very close.
What was that?
Yeah, I like how it spans 2 pages even.
Well, they needed to show Darsock's face.
Yeah, I wish they would make tanks in this brown color as well. Still,
Yeah, this is the year this came out, and the pirate tank was there. So this is actually built with only pieces that were available in 2009, and I do have not the instructions, but the LDD file. I'm sorry, the studio file.
Okay.
Available. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I will. Once I do, I will add it to the description of this.
yeah, it
live stream.
definitely needs a Darth Sock minifig to top it off.
100%.
Sure.
Who doesn't need one to top off their lives?
I would need one.
But I think we're done now. I think that's my last slide. I think that's my rundown memory lane of what idea books meant to me, which really they meant so much to me.
Yeah.
They were like my friends. When we saw these, when we looked at these in our meeting, I was like, there was just like a special, like, it just like hit me in my heartstrings. It just like hit me right here.
Yeah, and the next one I had was from '96, and I did tack this one on in case we got to it. This was the castle spread from the '96 one.
Oh wow, I do not remember this one at all.
Yeah, so this is like first level Dragon Knight versus
that ravine.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like they're
what's happening
up on top of the hill, and there were some crazy things in here that I noticed, like this catapult, the blue one in the middle of the page. You have 2 guys jumping on the end of it to like fling one of the dragon masters up into the castle. So there's lots of interesting stuff on this one.
Yeah.
They have this battering ram that's just flying right into the door down here. So, and they did have this thing for putting wings on all the Dragon Master like carts. I don't know.
How
it's
else
totally weird.
How else would you know they were Dragon Masters unless every part of them had wings?
I don't know.
Makes no sense otherwise.
Was this one I thought was very cool, and the castle thing they showed you how to build from this book was this lion castle here in the foreground up on the upper left.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't have a ton of pieces because it's got a big ugly rock piece as sort of one of its foundational structural pieces, but it has the whole thing in there and how to build that.
And those towers in back are kind of like micro scale.
Yeah, a little bit. They are kind of funny. I don't really know what the point of that would be in real life, but yeah, it's kind of like a forced perspective castle tower. I don't even get it. But
yeah. So our East Coasters are dropping off because it's midnight there, or it's 11 p.m. there. Sorry,
11 there. Yep.
I know time zones, and that husband has probably got food on the table, and he's probably getting annoyed that we're still going. So let's barrel forward.
Barrel forward
with our close calls for the evening. We're going to do a little of this, a little of that. So, question, and this is a can of worms. So, oops, we're past 10 o'clock, but I have a can of worms for you guys. So, Brickworld YouTube channel, family friendly or banana boners? This is kind of the conundrum I'm stuck in right now because we want to open this up to a broader audience, but a lot of our stuff is banana boners. What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some older stuff. I don't know how much a new member is going to dig way back into the Wayback Machine or not.
Right.
It's really, we still want to have fun. We still want to be silly.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need banana boners? Not necessarily. And we can save that kind of nonsense for the members only stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always what we can do.
I agree.
So I think we're sort of skirting the line here. VMAC, of course, wants banana boners because he does.
Brick That Build says 16 plus, age appropriate. I agree.
I don't think we've been outside the lines. It's just if you wanted to expand membership to, to the suburban mom who wants her 15-year-old, her 13-year-old, her 12-year-old to get more into Lego building, is she going to freak out when she sees ST Pro on the screen? I don't know.
But
we can kind of do both. We can tone it down a little, but I don't think we're ever going to be,
I can do my best to watch my F-bombs and be a little cleaner in my mouth, my trucker mouth. And I'll just have to teach Chat GPT to like put shirts on men.
It's important. Rename this channel Brickworld After Dark and have a second channel for stuff directly related to Brickworld. I mean,
that's funny because I've had the exact same thought.
Yeah. Brickworld adult,
Yeah, in like membership levels, I don't think would work on one channel because like some kid would accidentally upgrade to Brickworld After Dark. Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing actually, and perhaps Ben and I, that's more of a conversation for you and I to have.
We can have it later.
And so here's the next
one. As long
one.
as you don't put Yellow Castle on the screen, I won't swear.
Right. Chris Cummings says, I still think this show is cleaner than the old show back when I was a teenager called Degrassi Junior High. That's the other thing I think too, is like, what are they seeing on TikTok? Like, is this anything worse than they are fed every day with as much media as it? Yeah, exactly.
When we were coming up, Beavis and Butthead, they were, far stupider than we ever have been.
Where's the balance? Am I freaking out because I own the business and I'm trying to like grow it in a direction or other? Is this outside of what most AFOLs would want to see or appreciate the humor of? And I think I'm a bit triggered by an accidental guest at our Christmas party. A bit.
Yeah.
So next question, and this is all like help Ben and I. Help Ben and me, that's the correct grammar. Help Ben and me shape the future of the show. So think outside the blocks. The Troll and the Otter or multiple co-hosts. What do you guys think? And Ben, you and I talked about this a bit. And I like our repertoire. And like I like having co-hosts on. But I'm also like, if we did that a lot, I would want to start with just you and I either way. Like the first hour is just you and I, and we make everyone else wait in the green room. But people have built the show as well. So I'm not sure exactly, is it a comfort zone thing for me, or is it something that would be fun to have like more people to bounce things off of and have a rotating?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the one thing that I would say about, excluding or trying to reduce first hours, I want to see what other people are building as well still.
Same.
So maybe there's some balance we could find there.
If there's 1 hour of the show that I could reduce, I'd say it's Lego News because everyone does that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could always push that a little. Or it could be first half hour segment, just me and you. I mean, we can figure it out.
We can.
What does everyone else think? Half the people in the chat still right now have probably been a co-host, so they're probably all like, "Yeah,
I know, right?
On, like this guy."
Co-host specials, maybe once a month. We bring a bunch of people in, like bring a bigger panel in. I like that idea.
You can get Reed to say that Castle sucks. We can get Brick Dad Bill to show us his sweet mustache.
100%. Yeah. And Jesse can come in whenever. Because he can. He literally can.
He's got the ability to do it, yeah.
He's an admin. Every other week have a co-host. Brick Dad Build suggests.
It's a lot.
It is. And
mostly coordinating it.
It's a lot to plan too, exactly. It was like last week I was like, yeah, let's do this. And like this week I was like, let's just make it simple. I do appreciate the rapport we have with each other. And I think there's something special to it. So I don't necessarily want to dilute it too much.
Yeah. I mean, when you get a new voice in, and it's nice to have a new voice.
Yeah.
They've also, even when you're playing the Mark's Got a Pee song, I'm trying to push the show forward. You got to go pee. Like I'm talking over you a little. You're talking over me a little. We've gotten that better.
Press the button. Yeah.
And when you get a co-host on who's not used to it, then sometimes it gets a little strange or awkward, especially if their internet's a bit behind or other things that we've kind of,
I was showing
able to figure out.
As we discussed this, I was gripping a container of pistachios for some reason, like death grip on it, like tense, like anyway. So we can talk about that further, you and I, and we'll ask people's opinion on the side when we need it. And next one, Ben. So this is a repeat from last week, and I don't think you got this far. This is one we did last week, and I'm going to get to a conclusion on it. But this is what I asked everyone last week. What's a better normal villager for my island, for Buttland, which I'm trying to retheme to a fairy tale island? Do you like Norma, Shavra, Gale, or Jambette?
I'm going to go with Shavra.
That was the consensus last week. Is there anything else you notice on this?
Well, Jambette confuses me.
Yep. She was a joke. She was a joke option.
Because I'm kind of feeling like that was, a little outside the box. But I did like the dress. I don't know.
Yeah, real quick though, what is wrong with what is this character design? Why?
Yeah.
Nothing about it makes sense.
No.
Droopy
eyes.
Lip filler. Why? On a frog? Why?
Yep, why not?
Frogs have lips. Anyway, I agree, Shavra. Second place, Norma. Who's on my island?
Yeah, Gale.
Mm-hmm.
Gale, the heart crocodile, the heart alligator.
The 8-year-old girl's favorite character, and J-pop, as they called it last week. And for this one, best jock villager, Goose, Pierce, Tybalt.
Well, I like that Goose is a chicken. That always makes me feel fun.
Me too. Love him.
You've got a lot of bird characters, but Pierce.
I don't. I have one. Well, you're right. Sorry. I forgot eagles are birds.
Yeah, bird characters.
Mm-hmm.
But Pierce is sort of talking to me. He looks the most athletic.
Yes, I looked him up and invited him to my pocket camp campsite, and he has he likes elegant stuff, and so I'm a little heebie-jeebied by him.
And I mean that's a fancy jock sweater. I will
fancy,
say.
Yeah, a little too fancy. Tybalt?
He's cool. I don't know. He's got a hoodie. I like hoodies.
Yeah. So the consensus was like across the board. They called Tybalt a bully, which puts him up in my ranks. And people liked Goose and Pierce equally. And Goose was one of my first villagers on Buttland. So I will find it very hard to replace him, which it would be a replacement for Goose if I took Pierce or Tybalt, unless I do this. Ditch Gale, keep Goose, invite Tybalt or Pierce. And so Gale would be gone. There'd be no Normal. There'd be no Shavra. And we'd have 5 men, 3 women on Buttland.
Oh, that almost seems unfair.
To who?
To the Normal, to Shavra. I kind of just want Shavra on there. She's got the most fairy tale vibes, kind of with the goatness.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah. It's hard.
So out of these 3, then, who has more fairy tale vibes, Goose, Pierce, or Tybalt?
Fairy tale?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Goose. I don't know.
No, I agree. The sky is falling.
Yeah.
He's Chicken Little.
I like that he's a chicken that's named Goose.
Me too.
That's just too good.
All right.
So
Gale is gone.
Gale's out. Dead Bill degrees.
How will this choice help Brickworld as a whole? I don't know. I have to think about this. Does Goose help Brickworld? I think this is an old comment, actually. Goose has more stories in his life, for sure.
Yeah, he's probably got like definitely like an identity crisis problem. Because if you are a chicken named Goose, you have problems. I'm sorry, you just do.
He seems fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I like
would
about
have
him.
problems with it.
He seems like completely okay with it. So yeah, he's adjusted to this.
All right, I'm glad he's well adjusted.
So thank you, Ben.
I just have identity crisis problems. If that was me.
Yeah, I think your opinion carries a bit more weight for me. So I think you're in line with where I'm at. So
right,
Shavra, no more bros. Shavra. That's where we're going, right?
Yeah, Goat and Goose. Goat and Goose. That's the way we're going.
Goat and Goose. All right, so we're lashing out.
Lashing out.
Hey, my favorite part of last week's stream was where I couldn't hear what was being played. And for the last 10 minutes of the episode, Piece of Cake was playing underneath the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay, listen up. If that is your real name.
So that's what we've got. Now it's time to do a little bit of ranting. Ranty McRanter pants. If I was going to rant about anything, it'd probably be that Buffalo lost and the Commanders lost, and we have the same freaking Super Bowl that we have like every other year. But, perhaps we can find other things to complain about today. Okay, I'm trying to get my timer. 1 minute. All right. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, let's play this. All right, listen up, my family. Those are your real names. Stop getting sick, please. Okay, maybe you're just like, hey, we're going to take January off, or we're going to think that Dad should take January off of being able to do Lego things, because guess what? We're going to have pneumonia. We're going to have the flu. We're going to have pneumonia. We're going to have the stomach flu. Just knock it off already. My life is busy enough without having to take care of you guys. And to be fair, my wife did most of the taking care of because she's still on a job hunt, though that is going better lately. But still, I don't have the time to put the kids to bed every night and be on 3 live streams and do everything else we have to do and still get something built. So family, either you're going to have to tone down the sickness, or Mark, we're going to have only 1 live stream a week so that I can get something done, for Pete's sake.
Right.
3, 2, 1, done.
Wow, that's very... Yeah. Who are these people putting all these stresses on your life, man? Seriously.
I know, it's unfair to me. How come nobody thought, hey, I'm going to have... If I have pneumonia, that's going to really put a damper on Ben's week. I should probably not get pneumonia.
I would say, first of all, number 1, family... Stop being human and like catching things that humans catch, because that super inconsiderate.
Super inconsiderate.
And second of all, I would say, whoever is forcing you onto these other live streams, tell them your priority is think outside the blocks. Yeah,
it's crazy.
3 times a week. What is wrong with this person?
I don't know.
I hate him.
Completely unreasonable. And then, if there's like one weekend where I'm busy, like he freaks out, like he can't handle it. It's ridiculous.
I know. It's like, what does he need? Some sort of comfort host?
Disgusting.
It's like it's disgusting. Yeah. Or maybe you just need one little hair.
One short hair on my face.
One short hair. Yeah. But it's the eyebrows that kill me every time. It's perfect. All right, I'm ready if you are.
I am, but we always, before Mark goes.
Listen up.
Oh, that's really quiet.
All right, hold on, sorry.
Okay, listen up. If that is your real name.
All right, let's get a piece of cake going. All right, go.
All right, listen up. Apple, if that is your real name, which I doubt. Stop trying to version force us into new products. It's fine, I guess. Maybe we're used to it now when it's like the iPhone. Like you can't update this app anymore because your iPhone is too old or your iPad or whatever. But now we're trying to watch Severance on Apple TV. But our LG TV is an Android device, and you won't let us update it. You won't let us uninstall it. You won't let us reinstall it. And when we actually get you to do it, it plays the episode for like a half hour. So we have to buy a new TV to be able to see this series, and I really, really want to see it. And I AirPlayed it to my TV, and it was like, here you go. That's fine. That's a great solution. However, after 30 minutes, we're going to be like, this video is not formatted for this TV. I'm actually not done. So yes, it was. It was formatted for the TV for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, you played it just fine. But after 30 minutes, you're like, nope, doesn't work. We know what you're doing. It's super unethical. Maybe it's legal for now. Maybe it's legal for the next 4 years. We won't talk about that. But it's dirty. It's horrible. And if there's ever an alternate to you, which I highly doubt will ever happen, and I'm getting ready to buy a new Apple computer because mine's 3 years old, and so now it's obsolete. Oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh, you're burning my ass, Apple.
Spike it right on your head. Yeah.
I'm finally done. Yeah, I know, right? It's so aggravating. Like it caused actually a marital argument.
Yeah.
I know, right? But we didn't. We pay the subscription for the Apple TV. And so, like, just let us play it on whatever device we have. Like, how is this not beneficial to you to branch out to every like device available? Like, let people who don't have an Apple device. And how do I know what TV I have? It's fine. Again, makes sense, I guess, with like the iPad and the iPhone. But if it's my TV, I had no idea that my TV was Android. Like,
because they want you to buy. They have those Apple TV boxes. They want you to buy one of those.
No, we will never do that again. Because
That's what they want, though.
But are all TVs Androids, or are there TVs that have like Apple?
Most of them have. So most of the smart TVs have a underlying platform.
Mhm.
It is oftentimes an Android-based
Oh,
system.
great.
It isn't always. Older ones, they only put. It's just like anything. They put in hardware and
Mm-mm.
memory, and if
Mm-mm.
you're adding apps, they want certain security features or other things. So, some newer version comes out where some hacker found a workaround so they could record Apple TV or whatever, and they want to stop that. So they need your TV to have this version of software. TV can't handle it for whatever reason.
I don't trust you now.
It's all
you
terrible.
know too much. It's all terrible. Yeah,
it's all terrible. That's what it is. So when my son had stomach flu, he wanted to sit on the couch and watch TV. And we're like, no, you can't sit on the couch. You don't want to get the rest of us sick. You have to go to your room.
Go away.
He doesn't have a TV in his room because we're thinking he's still too young for that. And he has access to 4 other TVs. Why does he need one in his room? But because we were forcing him to stay in there, I went and got the TV that we don't use, the one that we're going to put up by the hot tub someday, and brought it up to his room. And it's an older TV, and the smart functionality on it, it's like basically broken. Like nothing works on it. And let me tell you this right now. Everything we do is smart TV functions. They're apps for other programs. That's all we do. So we had to go rustle up one of our Fire Sticks or Google TV Chrome dealies that's attached to another TV to run this one. That's really the solution for us, was to plug another device into the TV just to use the smart TV function.
Well, and so this is exactly what I was afraid of. Like a Team B says, the best option is to buy an Apple TV device. Well, I bought that for Matt's husband as like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. And it was like something cool. But as soon as it started outdating itself, the way our phones and iPads do, I was like, I'm done with this. The first thing that crapped out was the remote. It's like, this remote is not good for your version of your iPhone. And I was like, I'm not using the remote through the iPhone? What? Why? And so I vowed myself to never buy an Apple TV again. So if that's the option... So I don't use Chrome, but right now I'm on Chrome.
Yeah.
Because Firefox isn't working for me. Anyway, I'm grumpfluencing right now, but I'm also really frustrated.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had the same thing. And I'll tell you, even the good systems of smart TVs, updating an app is difficult. It's hard to find the right button to make it update itself.
On ours, it's the ellipsis.
Yes, that's exactly it. You don't know
always work,
doing
though.
anything. You can't tell.
It doesn't tell you.
It's just oh, okay, we're loading something. And you expect everything to be so instant now.
So in our TV, we keep uninstalling Apple TV. And it says, do you want to update it? And I'm like, update what? We uninstalled it.
That's the exact problem I had. So on this TV that we put in Miles' room while he was sick, they had a Netflix app, and I couldn't get it to update. So I removed it. Now I have to find a way to put it back on.
Right. So, Ben, do you think that when we are trying so hard to see our entertainment and we're failing, do you think that we're making any mistakes?
let me
This is
say,
a
we're not
super-
making mistakes.
Super bad example.
Yeah,
Do you
we're
think
not
these
making mistakes.
companies are making mistakes? Yeah. Well, first of all, yes, they are.
They're jerks.
They totally
They're
are.
jerks.
These are not happy accidents. These are capitalistic. That
Yes.
should be burned at the stake for this bullshit because we're giving them money at the same
Yeah.
time.
We're paying them that. Yeah.
This is how I get, you guys. This is how I get about this. I just want to watch Severance. We're trying to rewatch the first season before we can watch the second season. And I'm getting all these like news feed articles and like Twitter posts about like the second season. I'm like, how are you guys even seeing it? We can't see it. Yes. Fun hole, Apple. Fun hole. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes, you need another. You need one of these too, man.
I'm preaching. I am preaching because I love Apple, because I am a graphic designer by nature, and I'm doing a bunch of video stuff. We're doing a bunch of media stuff. We're doing all this sort of marketing for Brickworld. I would slit my wrists if I had to use a PC for this stuff. And this is not being insensitive to people with depression. Sorry. But at the same time, like I can't use a PC. I just can't. I know Apple. I'm loyal to the products, but I am so angry right now because like I've been loyal to this and you're trying to force me to spend money that I don't have. Well, even if I had it or didn't, you shouldn't be gouging it out of people.
Yeah.
For version control.
Well, let's say instead, was your attempt to transition to our outro a mistake? Or was it a happy accident?
I don't know. But from what I do know, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Our great friend, the happiest person in the world, Bob Ross, taught us that.
Yes, and I think we'll see you next week. The week after, hard to know, because Super Bowl, we'll see. But, you know, Eagles, Chiefs, who wants to watch them again? Nobody.
I may slit my wrists over Apple TV, so you may not see me next week. No, I'm sorry. That's really bad taste.
That's twice in 5 minutes.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, we will.
No, we won't.
We don't because
we'll do it live.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Here we go.
Bye.
Larry's castle stood so tall, we all sat in awe. Think outside the blocks gave a round of applause. Proud and inspired, Larry showed the grand hall. Physics took over, we all watched the grand fall. Bricks fail, crashing dreams to the ground. In that moment, silence was the only except for Mark screaming, no, 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 no. Troy was grabbing a beer, hey, what happened, bro?
I pulled a moto.
No, you didn't.
I did. Under the castle. So dragons live here, right?
Oh my god, yes.
Level 1 dungeons. We got kitchens. This is a double high. This is the grand hall.
No, 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 no.
Like the grand hall.
I believe everything happens for a reason, and maybe this reason is for you to rebuild it better, bigger and better.
Shut up, Troy. My castle just fell. There's only 6 weeks to go. I'm in a full hell.